YouTube, Twitch, I am back. It is some more Pokemon action. I did say to you, YouTube, that this was going to be the last episode. This was episode 40. 40 is a nice round number. I felt like I'd done most stuff. I mean, I hadn't quite done all the post-game. I did all the quests because some of them are unbelievably tedious, aka Safari Zone catching minigame. And I thought, you know what, I've kind of run out of interesting battles. We beat the developers. That's nice. But then one more thing caught my attention. And it was actually the battle with Mel that we did last week, the battlegrounds. There's 8 battlegrounds, which are basically refights versus the gym leaders. And I sort of got into I sort of salivated at the prospect of doing them all again, because I really enjoyed the playthrough. I enjoyed the gym battles in this game. And a chance to fight up, souped up versions of their team. I just couldn't turn it down, so I'm going to do the battlegrounds today, and I'm going to... please, I'm going to take one more episode, at least one more, possibly 2 more. 42 is a nice round number 2, right? But I can't do all the battlegrounds today. They are time sensitive, so I'm recording this on a Sunday right now, just put it out there. And there are 4 gym leaders I can fight today. And then a week on Monday, for you, YouTube, this won't mean anything, but on a Monday, I can fight the other 3 I've not fought. So we did Mel last time, and then we do the other 7. So I thought rather than doing 7, all squished into one episode, I'd split them up a little bit. Also, honestly, having 17 prepared for battles is just mentally too taxing. So I thought it'd be better this way, which might actually mean this ends up being a shorter episode. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, we're going to do the battlegrounds. There is one other thing that I want to leave as a surprise, which maybe I can grab into episode 41. So I'm really hoping I only need 1 more episode, but there's a chance I might have to put it into 42. But if I do put it into 42, it will be 2 short episodes, 41 and 42. Anyway, without further ado, I will let you know who we're battling. Let me pull up my old Excel spreadsheet, and yeah, we'll go through the Pokemon that I have to beat. So first up, I'm going to be fighting against Tessie. There is a specific reason that I'm fighting Tessie right now. There's actually a Pokemon that I have to have pre-poisoned, which in my defense, I know it's not very VGC, rule set type thing, having pre-poisoned Pokemon. I'm not using Toxicorp, but one of them pre-poisons one of their Pokemon. I don't think it's in this battle, but it's in a future battle. So I thought, you know what? If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So we're going to do that ourselves. Anyway, so this battle is the Tessie refight battle. Just as a forewarning as well for all the future battles, basically the typing of the gyms is now an afterthought. They basically just pick any Pokemon that fits the gimmick as well as possible. So Tessie was a water type gym leader, but now she's only got 2 water type. Well, actually, I say 2 water types, hang on a second. Strictly speaking, she has no water types, I believe, because her gym gimmick was Camomons. If you know what Camomons is every Pokemon gets the typing of their first 2 moves. And when we originally fought Tessie, what I did was to destroy her. I used normal typing Heracross with a burn on it with Guts and Facade, and it just did illegal amounts of damage. And basically just swept through the majority of the team with this illegal strategy. Now, though, I'm actually not going to bring the Heracross. I mean, you can see my team on my left, no Heracross there, but I'll tell you, more about my team in a second. Just to, go through her thing. So the other thing about it is its Camomon's also Heavy Rain is in effect, so Fire types, not particularly that useful here. The leading was Deoxys Attack, which has Limber, bizarrely, as the ability. I don't know what Deoxys Attack's abilities are, but Limber is pretty weak, so I can't paralyze it. Holding a Focus Action just has 4 pretty strong moves. It has got the typing of Electric, Ice, because it's Deoxys Attack. They have Shedinja, kind of based. Wonder Guard, bit of a nightmare. It has the typing of Poison Dark. This is important because Poison Dark only has 1 resistance, and that is Ground. And then the one weakness is Ground, which is we're on Wonder Guard, right? If you don't know what Wonder Guard is, a Pokemon takes no damage from the ability Wonder Guard, unless the damage is super effective. This is from attack damage. So unless I put in a Ground type attack into Shedinja, I can't kill it. However, they're also holding Air Balloon, and Air Balloon makes you immune to ground type moves, which means Shedinja in this battle is immune to all attack damage. Which is a bit unfair, but I have ways around this. I mean, the ways around this is just do damage that isn't attack-based damage, and Shedinja will fall over. So that is the grand plan for the Shedinja. But anyway, in case you're wondering why it's set up this way, that is the reason why it's set up this way. It's so it takes no attack damage. Giratina is here. It's in the Electric Ghost mode. It's got Gracious Orb to do more damage on its, I think it's Ghost and Dragon type moves, right? Gracious Orb. Pressure, so I use more PP when I am fighting it. I just don't care. Kind of irrelevant. The most important thing about this thing, it has Raw, so if I try and set up on it, it'll like knock me out, and then bring someone else back in. So I can't really set up in front of Giratina. Volcanion has got the ground poison typing. Leftovers water absorb earth power sludge wave. This thing has a water weakness and it has water absorb, so it removes that weakness, which is kind of like the synergy here. Has defog as well, so if I try and set up in front of it, it can... Wait, defog doesn't remove... I'm thinking I've missed. If I set up terrains, it can defog the terrains away. So again, fairly annoying. Manaphy has got the typing of Ghost and Fairy. Has Tail Glow. Tail Glow is one of the few abilities in Pokemon that lets you get a +3 to a stat. This is +3 special attack. So it's meant to push Tail Glow and then just sweep through the team. Has Hydration if I put any status on it. In the rain, it will lose that status effect. And it's permanent rain. You can't overwrite the rain. So Manaphy basically can't have a status put on it. And finally, Mega Aerodactyl has got the Steel Dark typing. It has Tough Claws, which I think is like... Is Tough Claws the one where you just do more physical damage, like more contact damage? I can't remember. You may be thinking at this point, why so blasé about this? Well, I've been waiting for a battle like this for quite some time. And the reason I've been waiting for a battle like this for quite some time is that I can troll this battle. I actually can beat this battle theoretically with just one Pokemon. That Pokemon is my own Shedinja. Because this battle, because I guess because of the developers thought, it's heavy rain, why would I use a fire type move? Overlooked one important thing. If you make your Shedinja, and they made theirs, poison dark with a... they made theirs poison dark with an air balloon so you take no attack damage. But if you make it Bug Steel instead, your only weakness is fire type damage, and none of the Pokemon in this battle have a fire type move. So my Shedinja actually can't take damage from 5 of the Pokemon there. The only Pokemon that can actually hurt my Shedinja is Shedinja. Shedinja of their variety has Will-O-Wisp, and it's the only thing that can hurt the Shedinja, because Toxic can't affect it because I'm a Bug Steel typing. In case you're wondering the moves I'm using Skitter Smack and Metal Claw to give me the Bug Steel typing. And then I've got Will-O-Wisp and Toxic to actually, it's more really Will-O-Wisp here, but I've got Will-O-Wisp that I can put onto their Shedinja to give them like a status effect, so they'll take a tick of damage and bypass Wonder Guard. I forgot to mention with their Shedinja as well, they've got poison typing, so you can't actually poison them or toxic them as well, so that thing is really annoying to deal with, except the Will-O-Wisp. So literally this battle, the only issue I've potentially got is Will-O-Wisp. It has an 85 accuracy. If I miss Will-O-Wisp, I lose the battle. If I hit Will-O-Wisp, I win the battle. That is literally all there is to this battle. Now, I will say as well, you might be saying, like, how do you win the Shedinja matchup then if they Will-O-Wisp you and I Will-O-Wisp them? How do I win from there? Well, this is where my item comes into it. This guy is holding a Lumberry, so any status effect this Pokemon gets removed once. A one-time use remove status effect item. Could have used Rawsberry as well, but I decided to use Lumberry here because I'm using Raws elsewhere, just as spoilers. So yeah, all I need to do is hit Will-O-Wisp, or if I miss it and they miss it, it's actually also okay, but basically hit Will-O-Wisp, we're fine. They Will-O-Wisp me, my Lumberry clears the burn, they die to burn damage, and then nothing on their team can touch Shedinja. The best they can do is roar my Pokemon out, but even then, they can't end up dealing with the Shedinja. The only thing they can do is PP Stall me, and they can't, which is part of the reason why I picked some of the attacks I've picked. Metal Claw has a chance to raise my attack, so eventually I will get to the point where my attack is +6, and I will just start destroying things. So yeah, that's why Shedinja's here. So really, the other 5 guys are here as like an emotional support Pokemon. There is like, I kind of ended up going like, let's just have some fun with these Kamamon battles. If we know we've won with Shedinja, which we basically have won with Shedinja, let's bring 5 other Pokemon which are kind of fun. They have like weird little Kamamon gimmicks. So that's what I'm doing. I've brought a new Shuckle to the team called Crevice. I literally had to like breed the Shuckle because I have no Shuckle with the Gluttony ability. I've not used it. I normally bring them with Sturdy, but this one has got Gluttony instead. Gluttony means I eat berries early, so like if a berry says it'll be eaten at 1/3 health, it eats it at 1/2 health instead, which is pretty good with Mego Berries, which are normally consumed at I think like 1/3 of your health or 1/4. I can't remember what it is in this game. And they give you like a big boost. It's like 1/3 of your HP bar back on the Mega Berry, so they're very, very useful. So yeah, in fact, it's more than 1/3, right? It's half your health back. It's a big boost of health. Like I always forget the exact numbers because these berries got nerfed like at some point in their existence. Citrus is like 1/4 of your health at 50%, and these things used to be I think it used to be half your health at a third, but now it might be half your health at a quarter, or a third of your health at a quarter. I don't remember. Either way, they give you more health, but you have to like drop to a lower health. But with the gluttony ability, I can take a little bit more like leeway on it, because I can take a little bit less damage before I eat the berry. This thing is here literally to do one of two things. There is a Pokemon in my party that we're going to deal with later, which I've got to try and get it to set up and win the game for me, so I don't really need to use the Shedinja. Shedinja's just here as like a backup, right? There's a Pokemon that can outspeed everything with one exception, and it's Deoxys. So I needed a Pokemon in the front of them to basically drop their speed by a tier. So this Shuckle is here to cast Rock Tomb. That is basically its purpose. It is also Bug Steel typing, so it resists... It takes neutral damage at worst versus every Pokemon here, because they have no Fire-type moves. Fire-type is their only weakness of this thing. Can set up Stealth Rocks as well, just to help some of the other Pokemon to, like, you know, beat down the other ones. And Sticky Web, again, just to give me some speed advantage in this battle. But again, it's kind of like by the by. Basically, I just want you to get a Stealth... In fact, really, I just want you to get Rock Tomb and Sticky Web off, so that and it's the Beedrill that we're going to be dealing with. My Beedrill can outspeed literally everything in their party. So I guess let's go to the Beedrill next. So why am I doing all this setup for Beedrill? Well, Beedrill, I would not use this guy too much, the old Dust Ball. Dust Ball has got Beedrillite, which turns you into Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill has an insanely high attack stat. It has an insanely high speed stat. All the other stats are a suggestion. Basically, any time Beedrill gets hit, or Mega Beedrill, in fact both Beedrills, get hit by a move, this thing is gonna fall over. And what's like worse is you can have like, these really strong, fragile Pokemon, like, you know, Pheromosa, for example. You would normally just give them like a Focus Sash, right? So they can take at least 2 hits and get some value from their moves. But because Mega Beedrill has to hold Beedrillite, it can't hold another item, so it doesn't have that luxury. Basically, any move that hits it will just one-shot it. But Beedrill, conceivably, is quite strong, because when it Mega Evolves, it gets the ability Adaptability. Adaptability basically turns Stab from 1.5 times damage into 2 times damage, which is disgusting as a multiplier. Like, it's a really, really strong ability. The other problem with Beedrill normally, though, is a Bug Poison type, and Bug Poison is not a great type. Not got a great coverage into the old other Pokemons out there, unless you're fighting against, I don't know, a Dark type or a Fairy type. Otherwise, Beedrill is pretty upset by the opponent. However, in Camomons, I can change my type, which means I can change my adaptability relationship. So what I've actually got on my Beedrill instead, or I guess my Mega Beedrill, the Technician doesn't really matter, I'm just going to Mega Evolve this thing every single time. It is a Dragon Bug type. The other reason why I find this kind of amusing is there's no Dragon Bug in Pokemon. So I've created my own, build my own Bug Dragon, it's Beedrill. Look, how dragony this guy is. So basically, we're going to spam Outrage. That's the grand plan, which is like a 120 base power Dragon type move, which will be Stab, Adaptability boosted as well, and will be disgusting. The only thing I do have to be a touch careful with, and I didn't really think about this when I was putting the team together, Manaphy's got Fairy typing, so it's actually immune to it. So until I deal with Manaphy, Beedrill can't really run the show. Although the Manaphy does have a... I was going to say a weakness, but it doesn't actually. It's a neutral relationship with Poison Jab, so... We can do some stuff with the Manaphy, but everything else, Outrage is going to, really, kick its ass. If we go into something that isn't... if we don't deal with the Manaphy first, we can just U-turn, which is Adaptability boosted U-turn, and swap into something else. So this Beedrill, pretty strong, and there's a few Steel types out there, so Drill Run's there to hit the Steel types. Basically, I wanted Beedrill to be a potential, sweeper. My other potential sweeper out there is actually the reason why I'm stood at this battle right now and not in a Pokemon Center. And it's the Pokemon I've pre-status effect. It's Parasect. Parasect is a really interesting Pokemon in the fact that it's kind of garbage, but it's held back mainly by its typing. Bug Grass is a really bad typing, because if you get a whiff of a Fire type move, you just explode, effectively. But fortunately, well, two things. There's no Fire type moves in this battle. Also, I can change its typing. So I have turned my normally Bug Grass Bug into a Bug Normal type, which again is amusing because there's no Bug Normal type Pokemon in the game, so I've built my own Bug Normal type Pokemon. And it's kind of very similar to the Heracross where we beat the gym battle with it. This thing has got Facade, but rather than being burnt, it's got poisoned because its ability is Toxic Boost, which kind of works a similar way to Guts, but it requires it to be poisoned and not, well, any status effect in the case of Guts. I can't remember the boost is on Toxic Boost. I really should have checked it, but it's like, It's a really big number boost, so this is why I've pre-poisoned it, so I get the toxic boost immediately up without having to use, like, you know, protect into toxic orb or something like that. I can just pre-get the boost, which also means I can hold another item, which is Assault Vest, because this thing is, like, it's okay tankily wise, but it's not the strongest, tankiest Pokemon, so it needs a little bit of extra oomph. Also, Parasect is extremely slow, so I have to have another solution for that later. Anyway, my Parasect is actually not using Spore because I'm holding the Assault Vest, so I can't have Spore in it, which is the normal reason you would use Parasect, purely for a Spore and nothing else. And even then, it's not the best Spore user. But this guy's holding, is using Facade, Leech Fang, Throat Chop because there's a few ghosts out there, and Brick Break as well for, again, these Steel Dark type Pokemon. Ain't gonna like getting Brick Break by a boosted up Parasect. But again, Facade into, like, some of these Pokemon is just illegal amounts of damage. Because Facade gets a double boost as well from a status effect, so it becomes a 140 base power move, I think it is, for Facade. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, you're 70, so it doubles the base power, so it's 140 base power Facade. It's Stab as well, because I'm going to be normal typing. And it's getting the Toxic boost. It's going to just explode Pokemon, if we use it. Now, to make this actually work, because, you know, it's very slow Pokemon, I do want to have a little setup for it, and this Orbeetle is here just to set up literally the Pinsir. So basically their, like, entourage. This Orbeetle is holding Focus Sash so it can't get one-shot, and literally is just here to push the Trick Room button. Nothing else matters. I literally don't care about any of the other moves. I gave it U-turn so it could swap out, but, like, even then, I don't know if I'm going to push the U-turn button. We'll see what happens. But I just don't care about the other moves. Literally, all I want to do is reverse the speed order, so Beedrill can outspeed everything in normal mode. Once the Beedrill falls over, we switch the speed order because everything else is slower than their Pokemon, and we go into Trick Room mode, and Parasect then switches to the team. So yeah, that's why Orbeetle's here. That's the only reason why it's here. The final Pokemon is Dustox, which you might be thinking I'm just putting it here, you know, to be a cheerleader. But actually, low-key, I've kind of underestimated Dustox in the whole context of the game. Dustox normally is a completely worthless dogshit Pokemon. It's a Gen 3 starting route type bug Pokemon. It has no good stats. I don't think it has like Sleep Powder or even like the Butterfree gets. I don't think it's Compound Eyes either. It's basically just like a worse Venomoth. But in this game, they do change its ability. And actually, it gets an ability called Dusty Scales, which is effectively Ice Scales' ability on Frostmoth. And that means any special damage this Pokemon takes gets halved. And this is kind of important because Dustox typing Bug Poison is not great offensively, but defensively it's better than Bug Ice. And I have been using Frostmoth a decent amount for its ability, basically solely for its ability. Whereas I could have probably used Dustox in a few situations. Now, there are some other things going against Dustox, but theoretically, if you squint enough, Dustox is basically like a special defensive version of Shuckle with this ability. It's got a reasonably high special defensive stat. I've like actually fully invested in special defense on this Pokemon, and it can kind of just wall special attackers. And in this battle we're about to deal with, virtually every Pokemon is a special attacker, so the only exception is Shedinja, which I'm just not going to worry about. And then the other exception is, I think the Volcanion is special attacker as well. Oh, sorry, not physical. Physical attack, Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl is also a physical attacker, but everything else I think is special. And this thing in theory can like wall those Pokemon to some degree. I have done the old usual. I've turned it into a Bug Steel type because Bug Steel only has one weakness. So I get even more bang for my buck from the old Dusty Scales. Not only am I taking half damage from special attacks, I can't actually take super effective damage in this battle. So it's really, really tanky to special attackers. Then I've got Quiver Dance as well to increase my special defense even more. Iron defense if I want to increase my physical defense as well for whatever reason, just turn this into an unkillable bug. Giga Drain so I can like basically heal stall. And Hidden Power Fighting is here just purely because I think Aerodactyl is the only thing that can really like do anything to this Pokemon. So I wanted some sort of move that could hit it. And like as I said, this Pokemon, like compared to Frostmoth, like, you know, defensively typing wise, it's not too bad compared to Frostmoth. Like, you know, Bug Ice has got two 4 times weaknesses. Bug Poison, I don't think has any 4 times weakness. I think it only has 2 times weaknesses. But like offensively, Dustox does not have a good move pool, so it actually struggles to hit a Steel Dark type. So I had to give it Hidden Power Fighting, which is a 4 times super effective move into Aerodactyl. But anyway, that's the team. That's the whole plan. In case anyone's interested, here are the old EV IV spreads. I've not gone into too much like depth with all these things. I've sort of just like, you know, said some of them. Like for example, does my Shedinja need 6 defense when it has 1 HP? No. So, you know, I just threw it on there because why not? This orbital literally, I just grabbed it out of the box and put Trick Room on it, and that was that. And then, yeah, Dust Ball here, max speed, max attack. Not that unusual. Anyway, we're going to fight Tessie. So the reason, by the way, why I'm stood here is in this game, they have the, you know, the ability thing, or not the ability. What am I looking for? The gimmick that if you walk around with poison on you, you take damage. So if I was at the Pokemon Center, my Parasect would take poison damage. And that's not very cool, so I thought I'd just put myself here. Are we ready to begin the battle with Tessie? Sure. So as I said, I think I've got an 85% chance to win this battle. There is a small other, like, you know, chances outside of that where I fail it. If I swap into Shedinja while I've got Shedinja... Sorry, if I swap into their Shedinja when I use my Shedinja to swap in, then if they do Will-O-Wisp on that turn, I lose. What a lineup of Pokemon you got, it's literally only the best. These are the hardest battles in the game. Alright, so Deoxys is here. Electric Ice, don't care. Didn't even look up what, like, things are strong to you. We're going to do a Sticky Web. This will do about half my damage. A little bit less, actually. Otherwise, this strat wouldn't work. So, any swaps now, they're going to be slow, which basically means my Beedrill will be the fastest Pokemon, except for this Deoxys, which is why now I'm going to do Rock Tomb, which can miss as well, to be fair, but again, we have the backup Pokemon, we have the Beedrill. I get paralyzed, so actually we got a chance to not set up the full dream that I wanted. Okay, so now there is nothing that is faster than my Beedrill, if we want to use Mega Beedrill to, like, sweep through the team. The last thing I would love to get off is a Stealth Rock, but if we get paralyzed, we get paralyzed. It's not essential, it's just like a nice value add. Okay, it's done its purpose. That's all I needed Chuckle to do. I can't miss Thunder because it's in the rain. A lot of that Pokemon have Thunder as well because it can't miss in the rain. Alright, so there's a few options I can do here. We can go into Beedrill and be the fastest Pokemon. So you're Electric Ice. So I guess my Ground-type move wouldn't be too bad into you. Actually, let me pull up my thing so I can see what's actually going on in this battle. Thunder, Ice, Grass. You do have a Fighting-type move, so I can't go into Fungal Forest there. But my only concern, as I said, is if I go into Beedrill and push Outrage, which will just destroy this Pokemon, then it'll swap to Manaphy and just take no damage. So I can't really go with that. So I guess we'll go with a Drill Run instead. We might just get one shot for this, but whatever. Oh, by the way, a lot of these Pokemon have, like, well, I say a lot. This Pokemon has a Focus Sash, which is the other reason why I wanted to do a Rock Tomb into it. Yeah, it swaps. This will be Manaphy. Perfect. Well, I say perfect. I should have Toxic thinged instead. Takes a bit of damage. Slows down a little bit. Losing the speed drop and Deoxys as well with the Rock Tomb doesn't matter anymore because it'll get caught by the Sticky Web again. Okay, I think, and I might be wrong. Actually, am I going to be wrong here? Ghost Fairy. I was going to say I think Poison Jab will kill from here, but actually I don't think it will kill from here because it's not stab adaptability anymore. Although, what's the power of Poison Jab? Is it 80? I think Drill Run's 70, so maybe it will pick up the kill. It is 80. Not again like this really matters, but... And also, what would you do to me? I'm a dragon. Oh, you've got Dazzling Gleam, so I think a Fairy-type move's going to come in. Okay, tell you what. I'll play it really safe for any Beedrill lovers out there. Will U-turn? I will predict a Fairy-type move is incoming. I will go to Dustox. so good. I did 20 damage. You're a mythical... I think you're a mythical Pokemon, right? Very good. Very good. Alright, let's Quiver Dance. So then I have +3 special attack, which is... Oh no, +3 special attack! What am I gonna do? If only I had ability in it half special damage. They are slowly healing. But, oh well. In case you're wondering as well, this Pokemon has got Shadow Ball, which is the move they're going to use to damage me. They've also got Rest. But if they rest, they're just dead. How much does this do? That's the real question. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like that. I might as well feel good about life. Let's Giga Drain. +2 Giga Drain. You aren't weak to this, so it's just neutral damage. Okay, that did nothing. So we're learning also the issues of Dustox on the offensive scale. Even with the type changes and, 2 Quiver Dances, it's still not particularly powerful. That's fine, we have more Quiver Dances in us. Probably as well, if I was going to use this Pokemon in this game, like an actual, competitive reason, I'd probably give it leftovers or something so it can just, passively heal. It really only has the Raw Spirit because it's the only status that can get put onto it, because I'm a Bug Steel type, so I can't be Toxic. And if I set up my full wall, what are they going to do about it? I mean, I know what the answer is, they're going to Raw me, but what are they going to do about it? Now, if I get crit, which is part of the reason why stalling doesn't work in this game, if I get crit, it will just ignore my defense gains from or special defense gains from the Quiver Dance. So I can still just, get killed here, but we still have Shedinja. Fun fact about Manaphy. Gives birth to Fion, and Fion from birth weighs more than Manaphy. Is that a really fun fact, or is that just a disturbing fact? Or a fact, as we may want to call it. Come on, Manaphy, rest. You know you want to. Alright, I think it's realised that it can't rest in front of me, otherwise I will just suck it dry. Don't swap! Okay, this is going to be Roar incoming. But honestly, that's fine. We'll get 2 more Giga Drain. A decent chunk of damage. What have you got, by the way? Thunder, Shadow Ball, Aura Sphere. Okay, we can go into Parasect mode. See you later. Alright, never mind, we're gonna go into Shedinja mode. So the only thing that Giratina can do is Roar right now. It can't actually hurt Shedinja. You're Electric Ghost, so I can Toxic you. Oh. Okay. You can't be Toxic, that's fine. Kind of a weird swap because you can't... Oh, they're going to defog and remove the entry hazards. Alright, Beedrill can't sweep anymore because the Deoxys will be faster. You can get burnt though. Yeah, alright. Hazards have gone. My evasiveness dropped. Not that it matters. I have 1 health and you can't hit me. And now, I'm going to Metal Claw you until I get to +6. Or you swap. Yeah, nice defog. Oh no! I can't evade you anymore. Whatever will I do? And basically this burn is purely here just to counter the leftovers. Come on, give me a boost. Okay, so this is going to be Roar again incoming. Which, as I said, doesn't matter. Now that I think about it, I really should have given another Pokemon Will-O-Wisp just so that they could deal with Shedinja if Shedinja doesn't deal with Shedinja. It would require a really, like, bizarre set of circumstances because I would have to miss Will-O-Wisp twice in a row to, like, at least not kill the Shedinja. Their Shedinja, this is. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. You fool. You fell right into my trap. Trick Room, please. Really? You only did that much damage? Are you crazy? Alright, we're going to U-turn because I think it's going to Shadow Ball me again. And if it Shadow Balls me into Parasect, Parasect is a normal type now, so... Oh, actually, oh, okay, hang on a minute. I think we're about to witness something extremely illegal. Don't fuck with the Shuckle. I've always said it. Shuckle's been one of my favorite Pokemon in this playthrough. Alright, let's go into Fungal Forest. Mega Aerodactyl is a Steel Dark type. And is relatively quick, at least compared to Parasect. So in Trick Room, I'm the faster Pokemon. Don't swap immediately. Actually, you know what? Do I just Throat Chop you? Because if you swap, it'd be pretty annoying. Then again, if you go to Shedinja, you're always going to be immune to this. So, you know what? Let's send the Brick Break. I knew it. You're going to go to a Ghost type, aren't you? Ah! Why? Okay, so I have to go through a really awkward situation right now. Yeah, I have to experience a very awkward situation. I need to sack a Pokemon. It'll be you. Sorry to any Parasect lovers. The test doesn't want to have fun. But anyway, that would have just obliterated Mega Aerodactyl. It would have been doing like... I was like doing some of the calcs of these Pokemon. It was doing like 1000% of the health. It was actually crazy damage numbers. But yeah, I have to sack a Pokemon now just to make sure I don't get Will-O-Wisp on the swap-in. You know what? Is there any downside to me doing Psychic Terrain? I don't think so. That's actually completely fine. Dimensions return to normal. Unironically, that might be good for me. Hang on a second. Did I nearly fuck up, like, I wouldn't have been royally fucking up. Did I think I made my Shedinja... Oh, I didn't even write it down. I think my Shedinja is faster than their Shedinja. But it wouldn't have really mattered anyway, as long as I hit the Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, it didn't matter. So I need to hit this Will-O-Wisp, basically, and we win the game. Alright, we can now lose the game. Because my Shedinja will trade into their Shedinja. So I have to lock in now. Alright, I missed an 85% move twice. I have to reset. What a stupid battle. Come on. What a stupid way to end this battle. Alright, same thing again. I'll speed through the beginning a bit. Yeah, 2.25% chance. I knew I was going to roll it. As soon as I said the only way I lose this battle guaranteed is I miss 2 Will-O-Wisps in a row, I knew I was missing 2 in a row. Alright, thanks, Shuckle, for your services. See you later. Okay, Beedrill. Poison Jab this time. Because they're going to go to the Manaphy. Because they know I have out... Well, I guess they know I'm a Dragon type. So how much this actually does? Does it do over half? Oh, one other thing. I didn't really need to do this, but I've made all my Pokemon still Bug types in the Camomon modes. Okay, it doesn't do half. which is what I thought. I'll just have to go through the same thing again, I guess. So there's no damage. Three cover dances, then we'll do some healing. You gonna let me take a kill this time? No. They have to keep the mana fee, I guess. Volcanion is here for defog reasons, which is fine. Let's check my diagram. Ground poison. So I might as well get to plus 5 or 6. I think that was 4, right? Yeah, because this thing basically can't hurt me. I think that's plus 6. So I should be doing some decent damage even if I'm not, like, effective. It is a Dustox, though. Yeah, it's a Dustox. If you're a pro Pokemon trainer, you'd have 5 Chuckles and 1 Alakazam. Oh, the Roseberry! I didn't even consider using it against Steam Eruption. Happy accident. Your Alakazam would be pretty well protected from physical moves. Can you please perish? I didn't PP max any of my moves because I just sort of like couldn't be bothered. Alright, if Volcanion swaps, it's dead. Right, Volcanion is alive. The demon is here. So this thing has a decent chance of Will-O-Wisp me right now. So I think I have to do what I did before, basically, and just stack a Pokemon. As sad as this is, it's by far and away the safest thing to do. I'm going to sack Beedrill this time. I know, Beedrill, we all love Beedrill. Gen 1, starter bug that wasn't Butterfree. Fuck it, home claused. Not that it really matters, this thing setting up. I can't because of Air Balloon, right? Yeah. Interesting how the game sees that. Or doesn't see it, I guess. It's like, yeah, the ground type move is super effective, but it's holding an Air Balloon. Alright. That's why Mega Beedrill's never used, by the way. I got fucking portal guys by a fucking Shedinja and one-shot. Alright, Deadwood, I need you to not miss Will-O-Wisp. Twice, specifically, but at least once. Hit this Will-O-Wisp. And then we can go home. Okay, we're speed-tied as well, I guess. Well done, Willow. Well done, Shedinja. Alright, Shedinja's now won the battle. I can't lose anymore. Unless I get PP stalled. Which I don't think they can do. None of the other Pokemon have a fire-type move. Which is really, like, a pretty big oversight. Your Ghost... You can have a Toxic on you. Just to make my life easier. You're gonna roar me, I suspect. Alright, see you later. Orbeetle? You are going to be... thundered. Will you take a Thunder from Giratina is the actual question. Let me just quickly check this. I think I've got the Pokemon stats in my damage calculator. Parasect. Otherwise, I'll just send it. Parasect Tessie versus Giratina. Giratina. Oh. Is this called Origin Mode? I don't know. Whatever. So, oh god. This is the problem with the damage calculators because it's not in Camomon mode. So you're actually an electric type. I'm not a grass type. I'm a normal type. And it's in the raid. I think I take one of these. At least my calcs are showing I take one of these. Okay. I'm just gonna send it. The throat chop should just one-shot it, I think. But again, I've not run the full counts. It doesn't matter though, because as long as Shedinja is here, I can't lose. I do live. Come on, Parasite, buddy. Buddy, you're so... yeah, I guess Facade would have... I mean, I couldn't use Facade, but I didn't get the Facade boost. Alright, you know what? I'll keep you alive. And maybe we'll be able to give you one more chance, Parasect. Alright, we're gonna get roared, but it doesn't matter. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Aerodactyl, you actually can't hit me. Oh, if they don't Mega Evolve, though, Pressure would be annoying. Vaguely. You're Steel Dark, so I have to Will-O-Wisp you. Mega Aerodactyl's got a Dragon Dance, which is going to be very unfortunate for my Pokemon if I ever get forced to swap out. Do I want to try and have some fun? Okay, kill my Dustox. So I need to swap into Orbeetle. Alright, I should kill the Aerodactyl. 4 times damage, by the way. To be fair, I mean, it's not really an attacker at all, Dustox. It's not really a Pokemon, actually. But its attack stat is not high. Do I take an Aqua Tail? I do. Astonishingly. You ever think that you'd see the day where Mega Aerodactyl would lose to Dustox? Alright. So, as long as the game is nice to me now, which it won't be, I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to set up Trick Room. I'll set up Trick Room. He's going to swap to Giratina as I send in a normal Facade. And it won't work. Right, you're Ground Poison, so... Actually, Expanding Force is pretty good here. You're slower than me? Crazy. To be fair, Orbeetle's not the slowest Pokemon. I didn't really do any... I actually did no checks for this Pokemon, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'll take a Manaphy, even though it's a Ghost typing still. Oh, I was going to say, is Orbeetle going to sweep instead? Right. You've taken my kill, which means Fungal Forest now can Rampage, kind of. In the least rampagey way, because I think Trick Room's going to end before it can do its Facade. We have to Throat Chop. That's a kill. If they go to Giratina, that's a Throat Chop. This will be a Throat Chop. Now, sadly, I think Trick Room ends this turn, right? So I won't be able to get to use my attack into Deoxys, which I think will just one-shot it. Oh! The game just doesn't like to have fun. Deoxys somehow miss me. Even though none of your moves can miss in the raid. Alright, well done, you killed my Parasect. I do like this guy, though. Again, just to make our life easier, let's Toxic. And then spam Metal Claw. You took one? How weak are you? How weak, Deoxys? Anyway, that's Battle 1 done in the old Battlegrounds. It's the most memey one as well. Just as a forewarning. Alright, let me go get the other Pokemon. Oh, I did the nice thing as well. Like I did last time. I've got all the Pokemon set up in my PC. So I just need to bring them out. Alright, let me do the Murskle battle next, which is this one. And I guess I can talk through Murskle. So Murskle was the original first gym leader on this entire playthrough. They are the dope-smoking gym leader. I'm not joking. And their gym gimmick is Fog, which I think lowers your accuracy by 40%. Like, it's insane. Unless you have, like, a certain subset of moves, or you overwrite the weather. So yeah, you need, I'll show you in a second, you need like Keen Eye or Infiltrator or Utility Umbrella gets around it as well, so there are a few gimmicks to get around it. Their typing is meant to be Grass, but they're not bringing many. They're bringing one Grass-type Pokemon to the party, so it really is just a gimmick and some Pokemon like based around it. And these are the Pokemon I'm going to bring to counter it. Right, I need you two to be the lead. This seems fine. Okay, let me show you what we're dealing with. So this is Murskle's team. You can read the gimmick as well on it. So Constant Fog, that reduces accuracy of all moves by 40%. Can get rid of the weather by setting up a different one. The Fog will come back once another weather stops. You can get around it with Infiltrator, Keen Eye, Utility Umbrella, and you can use Defog to just remove it completely. I'm not going to do Defog. I'm actually going to overwrite the weather condition with my gimmick, but I'll tell you about that in a moment. So their Pokemon are Azelf, Amoonguss. It's a double battle as well. Necrozma, Dawnwings, Darkrai, Genesect, and Mega Blaziken. The kind of idea of this is Azelf has got Infiltrator, so does Darkrai. It's got Infiltrator as ability, so they can just ignore the fog mechanic. Amoonguss, as I think clears smog, also clears the smog, but I don't really know what it's here for, other than, you know, being a grass type. I think it is actually affected by the accuracy rot, but we don't need to worry about it. I've actually got plans for the Amoonguss. The scary thing about Amoonguss, which is actually seeing a lot of play currently in Pokemon, is funnily enough a very strong Pokemon. Very bulky, has Spore, which is a disgustingly strong ability, has Redirection normally, but this one doesn't. No, it does. It has Rage Powder, never mind. I tell lies on a truce. It has Redirection, and it's just a really scary thing to deal with. And it has the ability to regenerate, so you can just swap out if you take some damage and just heal back up again when you come back in later. So yeah, pretty annoying. Necrozma Dawnwings has got Prism Armor, which I think also allows them to get around like the accuracy losses by some gimmick. They're also going to use Necrozmium Z with Photon Guide, so it turns into like it turns into a move called like the light that burns the sky or something, and it's like 200 base power and it's disgustingly strong. Hopefully we won't ever see this move, but if we do, my Pokemon will die. Darkrai is really scary because of Dark Void. This is also pretty nerfed Dark Void, so it's 85% accurate and will just put your Pokemon to sleep, and it's both Pokemon to sleep. Famously, this move is I was going to say not really good on Darkrai. It didn't ever see any play on Darkrai, because Darkrai has very, very rarely been, like, officially legal. But it saw a lot of play on Smeargle. Smeargle used to be able to copy Dark Void. And if you watch, like, Wolf Glick videos, you'll know all about this. It used to be, like, a really disgusting Pokemon. Because it'd have Moody, it would get stat boosts, it would spam Dark Void, it would normally have, like, Focus Sash or something so you can't just one-shot it. And it's an 85% chance of putting both of your Pokemon to sleep. It's a really, really obnoxious move. And it's obnoxious in Darkrai as well, but yeah, so it is obnoxious in Darkrai, but hopefully we won't have to deal with it. Genesect is base. It's another bug-type Pokemon. Holds the utility Umbrella so it gets around the fog condition. And then just has some good coverage moves. It's being used as a mixed attacker as well. Also download, so if it's like... If it comes in and one of my Pokemon, I think it's the Pokemon that's opposite it, has a low defensive stat, it will get a boost to attack. If it's as low as special defense, it'll get a boost to special defense. So basically it'll get a +1, which will hopefully be useful for it. Or in my case, hopefully won't be useful. And then finally, Mega Blaziken's here. It has got speed boost. It will try and protect, become like the fastest Pokemon in existence, you know, not too long into the game. I don't know again exactly how you're planning to get around the old... Oh, I know you're trying to get around it. You've got Hone Claws, which raises your accuracy. So they'll try and do Hone Claws and Protect to get really, really quick. Raise the accuracy enough so they can ignore the fog effect. And then just, like, sweep through my team. So that's kind of the gimmick of this gym. In theory, if I get really, really, really lucky with this, I can actually beat it with just 2 Pokemon. But I've got some other Pokemon here, just in case. Also, let me just stick these into the old slot thing. Why don't I use a good Pokemon like Caterpie and Weedle 2-up? Yeah. You could say that. You could say, yeah, maybe that's. I actually tried to look for reasons to use them, but I just can't think of like a decent way to use them. Actually, that's not quite true. I think there were times where I could have used it just because purely I needed String Shot or something, and you know I could have given it a Focus Sash, just a Focus Sash, String Shot. But I can't remember if I did or didn't. All right, massive Cleavor. Oops. Oh no, that is right. Rabombe. Low-key, now one of my favorite bugs of all time. Really cool Pokemon. And it's actually been seen a little bit played recently as well in VGC. Not a lot, but a little bit. Ninjask, which I've literally not used on the entire playthrough so far. I've just not had a reason to. And even now, like, you know, barely have a reason to use it, but it's got, like, a minor use. Crustle. You're certainly here. Volcarona, which is actually a good bug Pokemon and is seeing play right now as well in VGC. Holy shit, I was actually watching a game from LA just before I came onto stream, and it was a Volcarona v Volcarona matchup. It was like in the second like Swiss stage of the tournament, so like right at the very beginning. And I think it's James Bake. I don't pronounce his surname, so apologies if I'm wrong. I think it's Volcarona missed like 2 heat waves, like 2 like actual crucial game-losing heat waves. I think heat waves 90 accurate, and it was just like, it wasn't even just the misses, it was the fact that he missed the one which was important, because he kept missing like the Clefairy, which wasn't really doing anything. I felt so bad, like it was just like a horrible game to like, it was like really actually hyped to watch it, but it'd be a horrible game to be a part of. Just, you know, when the luck doesn't go your way, the luck doesn't go your way. Alright, and then Araquanid. Alright, let me talk about the ways I'm going to get around this foggy-based team. So, we have a lead, and again, reminder, this is going to be a double battle. We're going to use Cleavor and Rabombe in the lead. The weather I've chosen to get around this Dangus is actually Sandstorm. I've not really used Sandstorm for the entire playthrough, which is kind of actually a bit weird, because there's a decent number of bug rock Pokemon in the game. But it's just never really come up. There's not really any great Sandstorm users in the bug type category. So I just, you know, that type of thing. Also, if you're using Sandstorm, I feel like you have to like load your team with bug rock types. And it's not the best typing. It's not terrible. I mean, it's Shuckle's typing actually, but it's not terrible, but it's not fantastic either. But in this case, it gets me around the fog, so we're going to try and set up Sandstorm. Cleavor is able to use Sandstorm. It also can use a setup move, Sword Stance. More importantly, it has a really high attack stat and can use Rock Slide. And even more important than that is it can also get another boost on its attacks because it has Sheer Force. Sheer Force is an ability that ignores the second effect of your moves and gives you like a flat 30% boost to the power instead. So my Rock Slide can't flinch, but it's a spread. I think it works out as like, I can't remember now. It's like spread 97.5 damage, base damage, rock move, which is actually pretty good. It is slightly lower on accuracy, even, you know, ignoring Merciful's effect. So I've actually given this Pokemon Wide Lens just to make it a little bit more reliable. And in theory, after like a Sword Stance and a Rock Slide, I should sweep through basically every Pokemon they've got. So it literally is just me trying to get up Sandstorm, Sword Stance, and then Rock Slide the night away. That is the game plan. How am I going to get through to this point of the game? Well, this is where our second in command, or Robin or Batman comes in. And this is Rabombe, and it's a very special Rabombe. I actually had to breed a new Rabombe. It's like the 8th one I've done on this entire playthrough, but I didn't have one with the ability that I needed. Normally I use Shield Dust, which means that any like added effects get cancelled, but I needed a very, very specific Rabombe. So Gully has got the ability Sweet Veil. Sweet Veil is an ability that stops the Pokemon itself and the ally of the Pokemon going to sleep. This is important when you're fighting against Amoonguss and Darkrai. You basically, with this one Pokemon, can just counter out their strongest moves. I can't really get around, you know, the old redirection, but it's still pretty good, right? Just not being able to put to sleep, so it sort of means that Amoonguss is not that scary anymore. It's sort of like forced to use redirection or just its attacking moves, and this thing isn't holding Life Orb with Leaf Storm, unlike what in the old New York. Amoonguss, like in the one game, yeah, it's the same one. Also, my Rabombe's got Tailwind. In Tailwind, my Cleaver becomes the fastest Pokemon in the game. So this guy is literally here to push the Tailwind button and the Protect button for turn 1, so we can get the Sandstorm up without going to sleep. Then we can get the Speed Control, and then after that, my Cleaver will just take the game away. Just as well to help my Cleaver stay alive, I've got Pollen Puff, which I can also use as an offensive move, but I can side Pollen Puff to heal my Cleaver. And I've got Helping Hand, because a Helping Hand boosted Rock Slide is basically going to kill everything, so with a +2 attack as well. So I think these two Pokemon could theoretically sweep the entire lobby. But I've got some backups. One of my backups is Ninjask, which has got the speed boost ability. Ninjask is a really fast support Pokemon. I've not really used it in this entire like playthrough because you get it really late into the game. Like I think you actually get it. You get it after the Elite Four, I think even. So I've just not had a chance to like really use it. It's kind of like got niche applications, but it's not like this fast supporting Pokemon. Actually, it's fairly often used as a baton pass. I've also just realized I've not actually maxed out any of your stats. Hang on a second. Whoopsie daisy. Might want to fix that before I go into battle. But yeah, it's normally meant to be like this fast, supportive Pokemon. Wait, where am I going? I'm literally in the right town. Hopefully I've got a golden bottle cap. I'll just max its stats out. To be fair, I probably don't need this Pokemon, but if I do need it, I'll feel pretty stupid if... wait a sec. If I've not got his stats maxed. Alright, we're good. Okay, there we go. That's much better. So yeah, this thing has got a... It's kind of weird. Like, it's got a really high speed investment, and it has speed boost, so as the game goes on, this thing gets faster and faster, until nothing can outspeed it. I've made mine especially defensively bulky, because there's a lot of special attackers in this battle, so I needed it to potentially live through a hit. And this guy is literally here for two reasons. Firstly, I need another Pokemon to reset up the Sandstorm, potentially, because Cleaver's not holding Smooth Rock, so the Sandstorm will only last 5 turns, in which case, this guy can come in and set up Sandstorm again. And this one is actually holding the Smooth Rock item, so I'll get 7 turns of Sandstorm instead of the usual 5, which is quite nice. The other reason this is here is actually for the move Screech. So Screech lowers the Pokemon's defense by 2 stages. It's, you know, the defensive version of Fake Tears. And it combos quite nicely with the Cleaver that can do really big physical damage. So if there's like some really pesky Pokemon there, I can Screech it, and then the Rock Slide will like absolutely guarantee kill it. So that's the other reason why this is here. Also, when it gets really, really fast, we can do Air Slash, and Air Slash has got a small chance of flinching, and maybe we get a lucky flinch here and there. And then we've got Protect as well, just to like, it's a good move in doubles, right, in case I think a move's coming into this slot. Then I've also got Crustle. Crustle is kind of here if Cleaver falls. I have a backup, and it's in the form of Rubble. Rubble I also had to breed specially for the purpose of this, because I didn't actually have a Crustle with shell armor. I needed something that stops critical hits, because it's the only thing that can really get through. This Pokemon is a big crit, so I wanted that as the ability. It's holding White Herb. The whole point of White Herb is anytime you would get a stat decrease, you neutralize the stat decrease. And this Pokemon is going to use Shell Smash. Smell Smash is going to sharply raise my attack, special attack, and speed stat. I really only care about speed and attack. But the compromise is normally you lower your defense and your special defense, but not with White Herb. You don't. You actually don't trigger the loss. And with one Shell Smash and a Rock Slide the night away, we should be able to win this battle. It can also be a bit supportive. It's my 3rd Sandstorm user in case like something drastically goes wrong. Also as Wide Guard, which is always a really useful move into like some of their spread moves. Quickly checking in, like I think it would like counter Darkray's Dark Void, for example, which would be pretty annoying. What was the other thing I was looking at? Oh, Azov's got Dazzling Gleam as well, so there are a few like spread moves in there. I was like, we'll give it Wide Guard. That should be fine. Then I've also got Volcarona. Volcarona is just a classically really good bug. Its item I couldn't really sort out, so I've given it red card. There are a few Pokemon that can set up, and I figured if worse comes to worse, I can just put the Volcarona in front of the set up Pokemon. For example, I think the Mega Blaziken has Dragon Dance or something weird like that. Who's got Dragon Dance? No, Necros with Dawnwings already got Dragon Dance. And theoretically, that could become really, really scary to Pokemon, so I just wanted to, like, get rid of it. So the red card is here, potentially as a sacrifice to get rid of that Pokemon. But Volcarona is also a really strong Pokemon. We have Flame Body, which can be nice into any physical attackers. This one's set up, I think, quite bulky. Yeah, it's a pretty bulky Volcarona, so it's going to be a bit more of a supporter. Another Tailwind user as well if I lose Tailwind. Rage Powder for redirection, protect, and I've just got Fiery Dance, which will potentially raise my special attack up a little bit. But again, this is more here as a supportive Pokemon. You can't run Volcarona as like a full-out, all-out aggression Pokemon. You can run it in the middle. Volcarona is a bit of like a Swiss Army knife of Pokemon. A bit like Rabombi as well, which I quite like. They're both like very versatile. And then finally, I've got Araquanid, who's kind of just here because I needed 6 Pokemon. Holding a Mego Berry, which can hopefully give it a bit of a health boost, because this thing is quite bulky, again, on the special side of things instead. Has Water Bubble, if I'm expecting a really big Fire-type move into me, I can, like, tank it basically with this Pokemon. Also, its Water-type moves will do a decent chunk of damage, and I think they had a Water... Yeah, they've got a Water weakness in the form of Mega Blaziken, so this could, in theory, like, 1v1 the Mega Blaziken. Its moveset is Liquidation, Reflect, Soak, Wide Guard. So Reflect will reduce any physical damage. They've got a few physical damage out there. And Soak can potentially get around some like really annoying Pokemon. Like, for example, Genesect is pretty awkward with my team to deal with because I don't have Fire-type moves either. So I could turn it into Water-type and then we have like a better time to get through it. We also have Wide Guard. So yeah, hopefully this team can do the business. I should also probably save the game. No Buzz Small. Buzz Swall. No, I prefer Buzz Small, actually. And Vespiquen makes this bug running complete. I have both those bugs, but I'm literally not going to use them today, so I apologize. Low-key, I was actually thinking of the worst bugs and the best bugs on this playthrough. And low-key, I actually think Buzzwole is like a consideration for the worst bugs. I think mainly because Buzzwole's better in 2v2s, and there's not that many 2v2 battles in this game. He says as he does a 2v2 battle now. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So many bug fighting types, they're all like, you know, one gust of wind they fall over. Anyway, I'm fighting Murskle, so Murskle's in the top left. Alright. The battlefield is filled with fog. Alright. So Cleaver needs to set up Sandstorm. Which, by the way, in case you don't know this, you get a special defensive boost if you're a rock type in a Sandstorm, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this. So we'll set up Sandstorm. And I'm just going to do I do a Protect? In my notes, I say do a Protect, so let's do a Protect. I probably could get away with just going for a Tailwind immediately, but... Alright, you are setting up, but that's not that scary because you're not a real Pokemon yourself, sorry to say this. You and the other, like, Guardians of the Lake kind of poo, as, like, legendaries go. And this shouldn't do too much. I'm gonna get crit now and lose my my Cleaver, I can already tell. Oh, one of the other reasons I didn't actually say this why I'm using Sandstorm is a few of these Pokemon have got, on their side, Focus Sashes. Like, I think 2 of them have got Focus Sashes, and Sandstorm is just so useful into, like, a Focus Sash Pokemon. Like, one of the other benefits of this weather condition. Alright, we want to get Tailwind up now, and I guess we get maximum value of Tailwind this way. Because I wasn't going to attack on the previous turn, and nor am I attacking in this turn. So I'll get 4 actual proper turns of Tailwind. I should live the boosted Gleam even with Nasty Plot, because of the Sandstorm. Rabombi eats the berry. And we should take this as well. Now, Cleaver, as long as you don't miss any of your rock slides, which I said, I think they're like 97 accurate with wide lens, we should be good. I will try and side Pollen Puff here, but we might get a redirect. Yeah, okay. The AI just suddenly knows to redirect this turn. Didn't do it any other turns. No, now I'll redirect. Doesn't really matter. Kind of wasted the Rebombe turn, but I was wasting it anyway. We get the double hit, this will be a kill. It was intense, yeah, it was. So Genesect is here. One of the Pokemon can live through... Oh, I don't know why you brought that Pokemon. One of the Pokemon can actually live through a Rock Slide. I think it's the Dark Ray can just live through one after the boost. Anyway, we're Rock Sliding, we're Pollen Puffing. This Mega Blaziken should probably protect to get the speed boost, but even then, I think with one speed boost, it's still slower than Cleaver. Lovely, lovely, delicious health. Alright, you didn't protect, you're dead. I love it when a plan comes together. Alright, final two Pokemon. The Crozma and Darkrai. And again, the Darkrai can't put me to sleep right now because of the Rebombe. Like, how much value this Rebombe is getting so far this battle is insane. Rock Slide, and you know what? He needs a little helping hand here. Alright, Necrozma's going into, like, whatever it's called, the fucking ultimate mega fuck you mode. I give you a little round of applause. And one old bug is going to destroy you. So yeah, Darkrai just lives, but it's literally 6v1 now. And you can't use your signature move. Oh, and you only held on because of the sash. And you've used Nasty Plot, which was not your best idea, in a Sandstorm. Oh, the Sandstorm's gone? Really? Whatever. There's no way you can win anymore. You can take one of my Pokemon with you, but that's the best you can do. Alright, you've chosen... I was going to say, you've chosen Cleaver. Cleaver, 07. And Rebombe pushes every one of his moves, wins the game. Fantastic bug. Ninjas, maybe we'll see you on another playthrough. Maybe on the flying type playthrough we'll see you. Alright, and off we go again. I like this game, and I say I like this game. I like everything but the post game. No, that's a bit unfair as well. But there are some of the post game things I think are really, really like annoying. I wish the Z crystals though were like accessible a bit earlier because you don't really get to use it on the normal playthrough. It's part of the reason why I want to do the post game. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to keep you. Who's next? I'll tell you in a second. That's the wrong box. You don't deserve to go in the old box. Hang on a second. You're a good Pokemon. There you go. You get to go in preset. I actually can't even remember who I'm fighting. Who am I fighting now? Who is this? Hang on a second. I need to check my notes. I can't remember what the lead is. Oh, I'm fighting Galavan now. Right, so okay, the other two battles were kind of memes, but this battle actually isn't a meme. This battle's actually like a real person with real Pokemon. It's actually a battle we can lose, I think. That being said, I'm going to own up. I did like the damage calcs for this. I need to bring Cleaver again. But when I calced the battle, I didn't have Cleaver with the same stats in the two battles. But I'm just going to go with it and hope that Cleaver can like work in this mode. If it proves to be not the case, then I will go out and change Cleavor's stats, because I need it slightly different on the EV side of things. Funnily enough, I only need one of the moves. Also, I need to change his nature. But I'm just going to hope that I'm fine with it as it is. Anyway, there are some familiar faces. I've got Rabombe here again. I've got Volcarona here again. Right, let me actually put these up first this time. So, Cleavor and Rabombe are still here. You're changing to Pheromosa. You are changing to Volbeat. And Araquanid is changing to Frostmoth. If I can find Frostmoth, there you are. And I'll explain what we're doing. Alright. So this is the Galavan battle. So Galavan is the electric and steel type gym. I actually really like this on the playthrough because I think double type gym leaders could actually be a really cool gimmick in the future of the main game. So there's enough Pokemon now that there are some of the gyms out there that could realistically be double typings. Anyway, so this electric steel has permanent electric terrain on the gym, which boosts any electrical type move by, I think it's 20% you get the boost on it. Also, Pokemon can't go to sleep on electric terrain. It's another double battle as well, so we are going to have, like, you know, friends that can help out the strong ones, basically. So this entire gym is filled with basically steel and electric type Pokemon, so they can all fly, or levitate, sorry, because they have magnetic rise permanently as well, which means I can't damage them with ground type moves, which means if you're an electric type, you only have one weakness, it's ground type. It basically means I can't just use ground type moves to ace through the team. Also, steel typing has got a weakness to ground as well. So anything that's got like a pretty big ground type weakness is actually safe in this battle, which is really what they abuse. So for example, Heatran's got like a huge ground type weakness. Not in this gym, it doesn't. It levitates in the air. Mega Manectric, only weak to ground type moves. Not in this gym, it's not. It's just actually fine as is. So it's a pretty spooky gym battle. Similarly, Necrozma Dustmane. Magearna has a ground type weakness, so it's a pretty spooky gym. There's then two others, like, just, you know, here along for the ride. I don't really know why they're here, but Tapu Fini's here as well, which can set up, I was going to say electric terrain, but it doesn't. It normally sets up a different terrain variety, but I guess this one doesn't. It has telepathy instead. I really don't know why this thing's here. I guess it's just to heal the other Pokemon with Heal Pulse, but kind of bizarre. And then Zygarde is also here. Dragon Ground type. Again, I don't really know the purpose of this being here, but it's here nonetheless. Anyway. So Necrozma Dustmane has got the old Prism Armor thing again. Has Sulganium Z, so it's going to do its, like, Photanic Strike Sword Lightsaber Star Wars maneuver. I forgot what it's called. It's actually not going to do this because I'm going to just obliterate it, so we don't really care about Necrozma's abilities. But it's a pretty scary Pokemon normally if you just leave it to its own devices. Magearna's pretty scary because it's got Soul Heart. Anytime any Pokemon gets killed, Magearna gets a buff to its special attack, I believe it is. And this could lead to some pretty spooky situations in, you know, 2v2, 6v6 battles. Very quickly can get to a +6 special attack, so we want to be a bit concerned of that. Fortunately, this one is set up more supportive. It's got Electro Whip for, like, speed control. What the fuck does Eerie Impulse do again? I actually can't even remember what Eerie Impulse does. I'm so stupid. Lowest special attack, right. So it can basically nuke some of my Pokemon's special moves. Helping Hand to boost an ally, and an Ice Beam for a bit of damage as well. And then the Citrus Berry helps it stay around. It's a Steel Fairy type Pokemon, which is really awkward to get rid of. Normally you want to use a ground type move, but you can't. But you can do Fire types instead, and this is what I'm going to abuse. Fire type Pokemon, I don't know what it was for these these battles in the battlegrounds. They kind of forgot the Fire type exists. They're actually pretty strong, so it's also fairly strong here. Tapu Fini's got Nature's Madness, which just halves your health, which is pretty annoying for a bulky Pokemon. Has Electric Seed, which will boost its special defense, I believe it is, for the Electric Seed. Which is, you know, going to make it a bit tanky, hard to remove as well. Heal Pulse for some potential healing of an ally. Grass Knot, which does more damage to, like, a legendary type Pokemon, which is typically is a weight-based move, right? And most of the legendary Pokemon are really, really heavy. Fortunately, I'm not using any legendary Pokemon because my Pokemon are bugs. And Icy Wind for some speed control. So it's really here as a support Pokemon again. Zygarde has got Power Construct, which means when it drops below 50% 50% health, it will go into like its Zygarde 100% mode and gain a shit ton of stats. Basically, it'll get a full heal on top of it. I know that's not the way that works. It gives it like 100 extra health or something, which like makes it look like it's a full heal, but it doesn't. So yeah, it goes into a more powerful mode. It's got 1,000 arrows, so it can hit both slots. Also hits any flying type Pokemon with the 1,000 arrows ability, so it's pretty annoying. And has E-speed, so you can't really outspeed this thing. It's a pretty scary Pokemon. Glare is a move which is actually extremely good, but unfortunately it's only given to snake Pokemon. So you don't really get to see it a lot, but it's basically T-Wave, but for snakes. And then Coil, which increases your defense. I think it's like your defense, your accuracy, and your attack or something. I can't remember what Coil, but it's a setup move. Heatran has a Chople Berry. The only thing that Heatran is weak to is fighting type moves, if you can't hit it with a ground type move. Chople Berry reduces fighting type damage by half for one hit. So basically Heatran is really hard to remove from the field. Has a spread move in the form of Heat Wave, which is only 90% accurate, as I mentioned earlier, but into my bugs, it's pretty scary, right? Bugs typically don't like fires. Nature power on this Heatran, I can't remember what it is now. It's not even on my text note thing. Did it say? Alright, whatever. It's got nature power of some variety, very specific, I know. I really can't remember. I think it's ice, but maybe it's not because it's got frost breath. I don't know, whatever. It's got nature power. Frost breath, which always crits and is an ice type move and protects, so it can protect itself from like some hit that's incoming and stall the game out. The really troll Pokemon, other than the Heatran, which is like pretty hard to deal with, the Necrozma, which can just one-shot some of my Pokemon, and Megaena, which just gets endlessly buffed out of control, is actually this Mega Manectric. Mega Manectric, when it goes into its Mega Form, and it will just automatically go into Mega Form, has Intimidate. So basically, any physical attacker does not like fighting into the Intimidators. And more to the point, this Mega Manectric is really, really quick, and it's just going to keep doing Volt Switch, swapping into the back, going into another Pokemon, which hopefully tanks the hit because they're mostly defensive Steel types. And then it can come back in the future again and intimidate me. It's basically like Incineroar minus, because it's still worse than Incineroar. Also, Snarl, again, lower my special attack. Flamethrower, which is, again, pretty annoying for bugs. And Rising Voltage, which is like it's disgusting. It's like a 170 base power move as long as you're in electric terrain. And I can't turn off the electric terrain, so it's a really, really scary set of Pokemon. Hopefully, though, I can actually deal with this menace. Now, this isn't quite as clear as the other battle. I definitely have some loss conditions here, but hopefully if I play this like relatively well, we should be able to beat it. So the plan of this battle is, I'm going to lead with Volcarona and Rabombe again. My Volcarona is going to, it has a Life Orb first, so it's going to boost all of his attack at the cost of 10% of his health each turn, which is a great deal, honestly. So Life Orb boosted Volcarona. It's going to send out a really powerful Heat Wave. Heat Wave is a spread fire type move, and it does pretty big damage into Steel types, and the opening pair that they're going to send out are both weak to fire type moves. So we're just going to send out a Heat Wave and hope for the best, kind of. We've then got some good coverage. We've got Quiver Dance so we can set up, because this thing is set up really quickly and really, like, it's got, I think, max speed, max special attack, something along those lines. It's really, really, really hard hitting as Volcarona go. We can Quiver Dance to set up to do even more damage, and Giga Drain to, like, get my health back, which is going to be quite important if I am Life Orbing myself. We've also got Overheat for, like, one, like, I can't quite remember for this. I probably have my notes somewhere. In fact, let me bring my notes up on the other side. I think there's one Pokemon in particular where I might just want to one-shot it, and the Overheat is just there for that. Oh, Manectric. Manectric will die to one Overheat, whereas it will live through a Heat Wave. It will lower my stats if I do this, so I'll probably have to swap it out, but I think it's a reasonable exchange. We have Flame Body on the Volcarona as well. It's just the better ability. In fact, I don't know what Volcarona's other ability even is. Is it Swarm? Either way, we're taking Flame Body in case we get hit by a physical move. Burn them. That would be pretty good. Then we have Rabombe. Rabombe in this form has got Shield Dust, which is the normal version of Rabombe, so any added effect on moves doesn't go through. This one is holding a Wiki Berry. I've made it particularly bulky, which is kind of an odd thing to say about Rabombe, because they're normally pretty frail. But this one I've really bulked it up as much as humanly possible for a small bug. So potentially can get brought down to a very low health so the Wiki Berry can trigger. I've calced it so it should work. This Pokemon has got Fake Tears, Skill Swap, Dazzle Gleam, and Tailwind. This Pokemon has got some genius Swiss Army Knife tool sets. So basically what I'm going to try and do is get up Tailwind again, and that'll give me speed control for basically the entirety of the battle. I mean, for the 5 turns I've got Tailwind up. But more important than the first turn is, I don't actually kill Necrozma with a Life Orb boosted Heat Wave. It's not quite enough damage. However, if I put a Fake Tears into that Pokemon, it drops its special defense by 2 stages, and then it will pick up the kill with the old Heat Wave. So, and the AI I don't think is going to recognize this particularly easily. This Ribombay as well is not only just specially very bulky, it's very fast as well. Not quite the fastest it can be. In fact, I very specifically made this Ribombay 1 speed stat faster than my Volcarona, so that it can get the Fake Tears off before Volcarona sends out a Heat Wave. Every other stat has gone into its bulk. The other genius thing about this Pokemon is the skill swap ability, because if you remember, Heatran has got an ability. Heatran's ability is Flash Fire. And this is kind of what I think the AI is meant to do, like how this battle was like put together. Sure, you've got a bunch of steel type Pokemon here, but if you send out a fire type move, I will swap to Heatran and I will suck up the fire move, because Heatran with Flash Fire is immune to fire type damage. But I can abuse that for my own purposes. If I skill swap my ability with the Heatran, I can make my Ribombay have Flash Fire, which means Ribombay is immune to fire type damage, which means that which means Heatran has a really sad time dealing with this Ribombay. So that's one of the tools it's got. I actually had if I could have had 5 slots, I was going to give this thing Powder as well. And Powder means that if you try and use a fire type move, it basically disables it and you take damage. It's really, really obnoxious, specifically to fire type moves. Instead, I decided to put Dazzle Gleam because I wanted this Pokemon to actually be able to do some damage. It's also quite useful into Zygarde, which is a dragon apparently, not a snake, a dragon. So the fairy type damage will actually add up. And then we've got Tailwind as well, so I have speed control with the rest of my party. But this Ribombay, really well placed to deal with the openings. Then I've got the old Pheromosa here. Pheromosa's got its old Focus Sash because it's so unbelievably frail. It dies to like 1 hit of everything. Has Beast Boost. The boost will be in speed, but I just don't care about it. It's already like the fastest Pokemon. This Pokemon's here for like 2 purposes. It's got like a pretty hard hitting attack set, like close combat as a fighting move. Pretty good into the old Heatran, even with the Troupple Berry. Or if I can remove the Troupple Berry at some point, 2 close combats will kill it. Triple Axle is one of the big reasons why this is here. It's actually quite good into Zygarde. Triple Axle is 4 times effective into Zygarde, so we can do some real big damage there. Also, if I will not look at this yet. If I have Cleaver on the field, and the part of the problem with my Cleaver is that I just do the Rock Slide stuff again, I can potentially boost my Cleaver with Coaching, and Coaching boosts a Pokemon's attack, I think by 1 stage in its defense, but is it 1 and 1? I just can't remember anymore. Yeah, it's 1 and 1 in attack and defense. But more importantly, it hits an ally Pokemon. So I can potentially put Pheromosa next to one of my physical attackers and boost their stats. So I can basically become a support as this Pokemon. And then finally, this Pokemon's got Quick Guard as well, which is a really unusual move. But it blocks any priority moves your opponent uses. And one of the things that was really scaring me was the Zygarde with E-Speed. But some of these bugs are like pretty frail still to physical damage, so I just don't want to get hit by an E-Speed and get one shot. So I thought, you know, Quick Guard as the 4th move would be quite nice. So this Pheromosa kind of here for some damage, but also here as a bit of a support Pokemon. Then we've also got, where is it? Let me talk about the Cleaver next. The Cleaver is literally, I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's the same one that we had before. Yeah, I really should like make the moveset better, because in my actual notes I've got Assault Vest stuff on this, but I'll try and make this work as is for now before I change anything. Literally my notes say, give it Careful ability, make it a bit more bulky, give it an Assault Vest, and it needs Rock Slide. That's it. Just push the Rock Slide button. I think again the Rock Slide, like rock damage in general, is pretty good into this battle, so in theory Cleaver should be pretty good into this battle. I'll try and get away with Cleaver as I said, but it's not like best position to deal with the threats I've got out there. The final 2 Pokemon, we've got Volbeat here. Volbeat is like the only bug that has Prankster. I know Illumise is a different type of Pokemon, but they're basically the same Pokemon. This thing's got Electric Seed, so I'm going to abuse that Electric Terrain and get a boost off it. Did I say special before? I think it's actually physical defense, is it? For like, I can't remember the seed. Either way, I'll get a defensive boost off the Electric Seed. Prankster means any stasis moves will hit first and have priority. And its moveset is T-Wave, Tailwind, Encore, Helping Hand. No attacking moves. Helping Hand can boost my ally. Again, if I get next to Cleaver or Volcarona with Heat Wave, I can boost these like powerful spread moves. If they try and set up on me, I can Encore them to get stuck into a setup loop. I can Tailwind for speed control, and I also can T-Wave for speed control, and also just a troll Pokemon. Obviously, there's a few of them that are electric types, so the T-Wave won't be good into them, but there's one Pokemon in particular that could troll. It's not quite one. There's the steel types as well from the beginning. If they somehow manage to live through the opening turn, we might want T-Wave for them, but really it's like for Tapu Fini just to like troll it a little bit. Honestly, I didn't know what the 4th move should be, so I just put T-Wave. When am I ever going to be sad to have T-Wave on this Pokemon? And then finally is Frostmoth. And Frostmoth is here for like one reason and one reason alone. And it is just purely to deal with Zygarde. I don't have a great answer to the Zygarde. I was like talking about the Pheromosa as well, trying to deal with it. But ice types into Pheromosa are like fantastic. This is the only ice bug Pokemon, so that's why you are here. It has Dazzling Gleam, so it's got a spread move as well. Pretty good with the Fake Tears Rabombe as well, if that ever comes up. Giga Drain to restore some health. Ice Beam, which is pretty nice. We've also got Wide Guard. Potentially, if this goes in front of Zygarde, I could also Wide Guard to stop the, I was going to say Precipice Blade, but the 1,000 arrows from going off as well. And I think their Heatran might have Heat Wave as well. They do. So they've got a few spread moves on their Pokemon as well, so it'd be nice just to have a bit of Wide Guard support in this battle anyway. I actually need to quickly check. Maranga Berry does what I think it does, right? Let me just quickly remind myself. I think Maranga is the one where if you get hit by a special move, it boosts your special defense stat, from what I remember. Yes, if I'm hit by a special move, my special defense goes up by a stage. In this battle, most of the Pokemon are special attackers, with the exception of the Zygarde. At least, sorry, it's not quite true. The Solganium is also a physical attacker, but I'm not going to let it attack me, so don't worry about it. So literally it's just a Zygarde I have to worry about. And it's really good with Pokemon because it has Ice Scales. I halve any special damage I take, so it's really, really good into this battle, really good into Zygarde, except for the fact that Zygarde is a physical attacker. But, you know, hopefully we'll be okay, basically. Anyway, I'll quickly just run through. I can't remember if I did this before for the other ones, but hit the EVs, IVs if you're really interested. If you're a real turbo nerd, and we'll go get them. Alright, let's save the game as well. So I'm not as confident in this one. I think we should be set up for glory, but there are things the AI can do that, like, will trip me up. It's not quite push the Rock Slide button, win. Or push the Will-O-Wisp button, hit it, and win. But it's only like a step removed from that. Hopefully my Pokemon in the right order as well. I can't remember if I did change it. I think I did. If not, we're going to have to reset. And Crossman, Megaena. Oh, good. We're in the right order. Okay, so Megaena can live this opening turn. It's actually a damage roll. I'd probably prefer it to die, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Anyway, I have to do Fake Tears into the Crossman, or it will live this turn. Now it won't live this turn, though. And again, my Rabombi is 1 speed stat faster than Volcarona. And the other like issue there, okay, we don't quite kill Megaena. The one thing that they have as a weakness, really, is their Pokemon are actually quite slow, with the exception of Manectric, which is really, really quick. But the other ones are kind of like middling. Anyway, you get a Soul Heart boost, which is pretty spooky. You eat your Citrus Berry as well, which is fine. Oh my god, you missed my Volcarona. Actually, that's kind of annoying now I think about it. It might be more annoying if you just hit it. I get a speed drop on Rabombe, which means now I can't Fake Tears into Heat Wave anymore because the order is wrong. Yeah, that's actually kind of annoying, honestly. Okay, we're into Manectric now. So this is the other thing that's a bit awkward about this battle. I do test some of these out just to make sure, like, you know, they vaguely can work. I don't always test them to, like, victory, but I do test them. This isn't what they did last time for me when I tried this out. We probably want to get Tailwind up now so that my speed is better than Manectric going forwards. Yeah. Oh, also, I've made my Rabombe able to take 1 hit from Rising Voltage, but I think it had to be at, like, full health. So it probably doesn't take it anymore. The real scary thing here is Manectric hits Glenn. I probably have to push Heat Wave here as well. But I think they're going to Volt Switch. That's my theory. Oh, also, most of my Pokemon here are special attackers with the exception of Cleaver and Pheromosa, because the Manectric with Intimidate is going to be really annoying. And it's really just catching this Pokemon which is the problem. Okay, it's doing the Volt Switch gimmick. I'm very happy with you hitting Volcarona, actually. I'm quite... Well, I'm more especially bulky on Volcarona. Heatran is here, so he's going to eat the Heat Wave. That's fine, because I really just want to pick up the kill on Magearna. I can miss Magearna here as well, which would be another lost condition. We didn't. Now, the funny games can occur. Oh, you've actually fucked me up a little bit. I saw the XL on the screen, fuck's sake. You know what? I'll risk it. My bad. I'll just restart it. We won't miss the Heat Waves this time, I'm sure of it. Alright, Necrozma Magearna. We're going to Heat Wave, we're going to Fake Tears you. You're cooking, it was fine, it's my fault. Which actually also means when I went through all the books, you didn't see it. But you heard it, that's the important thing. That was the audio portion of the video. I'll show you the EV spreads and stuff again afterwards. I apologize, I'm dumb. I'm just a little bit dumb. Oh, I missed Magearna this time, by the way, so instantaneously my luck is worse. But I think we both get hit by the Electro Web, which is actually better because now I have my ordering correct again. I really want to Tailwind, but actually I can't this time because I need to kill the Magearna this time. So I'm going to Fake Tears Magearna instead. Which should now let Magearna go down in one hit. I think Volcarona will take this. Does take it. Alright, you can't miss the Heat Wave this time, though. That would actually be really, really bad. That's fine. I've accepted this. Okay, that should kill Magearna. So I didn't get Tailwind up this time, but I think that's okay. The only issue now is Manectric is faster than me still. Yeah, okay, this might still be a problem. Because otherwise I think Volcarona could have done something to the Manectric before the Manectric did anything. Whereas it can't really do that anymore. I could... No, it wouldn't be worth it. I could swap. I think I just have to take it. Heat Wave, I assume it's Heat Wave coming in from Heatran. It might miss. Volt Switch can't miss, though. But I'll do the tech of skill swapping the Heatran. Okay. Picks up the kill there. I was slightly worried it would go for the Rabombe as well. Which might have killed the Rabombe. Tapu Fiini's here. Is it defense you're getting? It is defense. Don't know why I thought it was special. It's Psychic and Fairy is special, right? Grass and Electric is defense. Anyway, I've just stolen your Flash Fire ability. Whoopsie. Be nice if I was, it'd be nice if I was able to be hit by Fire-type moves. Fortunately, I'm not. Okay, you're now Water Fairy. And I really would have liked my Volcarona to still be here. The problem I've got right now is Manectric can come back again, so I don't really want to bring in my attack mode. But I kind of need to keep Frostmoth as well. It probably is Frostmoth that comes in now. And I'll try and deal with Zygarde another way. Fairy water. Steel fire. Don't have great moves here either. Oh, how fast is Frostmoth? 166. It's slower than Heatran, so I need to Tailwind here. I think Frostmoth will live the turn as long as Tapu Fini doesn't Nature's Madness it. Okay damage. Okay, Rabombe's fine. But I think this is going to Heat Wave again. Wow, it didn't. Okay, it has to be going for Rabombe, right? Rabombe lives. Holy moly. It's the Rabombe show. Now. Now. Wait, you're neutral, right? Into Tapu Fini, yeah. I think I'd go for Giga Drain still, and I think I'd Fake Tears at this time. And this should pick up a kill on Tapu Fini, which means they can't support their Pokemon as easily anymore. It's probably Rabombe's ass as well, is my guess, but maybe not. You lived? That's bad. On who? Yeah, okay. Citrus, was it? Oh, no, Maranga. That's fine. Come on, Rabombe. Hold. Hold. Rabombe! Remind that's always a critical hit. You can't not critical hit. Okay, I'm actually going to use the Dazzling Gleam on Rabombe now, I think. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to Dazzling Gleam you two. And I'm going to Fake Tears the Heatran. Heatran is going to kill my Rabombe. It has to go for Rabombe now. It's got way too much value. That's fine. That was expected. It wasn't effective. Okay, they've had enough of this shit. Well done, Rabombe. Now, is this the last turn of Tailwind? I can't remember. Either way, I think I want to go into use another supporting Pokemon. Well, while Manectric exists, I can't really go into my Pheromosa. Yeah. But is Tailwind still up? That's the big question. I think it still is up. In which case, we Giga Drain here. You're using Frost Breath. I might Encore into Frost Breath, honestly, because that's not that scary a move. Wow, didn't expect you to go for this guy. Oh, you might die to Frost Breath, which would be really annoying. It's a nice bit of healing, though. And you should die to one Ice Beam. Okay, it's like no healing. Please not Volbeat. Okay, that's actually humongous. If Tailwind ends this turn, and I get it up again, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, Volbeat's done everything you need to do. Ice Beam goes here. We have to Tailwind again. I have to have the speed. I think this might kill you. You're 4 times weak to it. Nice. So I don't have to deal with the other form because I just one-shot it, which is why I really want it. Frostmoth here. You're forced into Frost Breath still because of Encore. Dude. Manectric is just fucking trolling me right now, but whatever. I think now I can finally pin it down, though. Is this your last 2 Pokemon? I think it is, right? Killed the opening pair, killed Tapu Fini. And I've killed Zygarde. Yeah, so we can't do the Volt Tackle switch thing anymore. I Giga Drain you. I do need to be a touch careful of this Heatran. But I think we can kill it. I guess as a last hurrah, let's Helping Hand. I think Volbeat is dead this turn. Volbeat is 1000% dead this turn. That should be the end of the Encore as well, so it's whether or not my other bugs can kill Heatran now. It's literally the game. This should do nothing. Yeah. Yeah, the Encore ends. Okay, can these 3 Danguses beat these 2 Danguses? I don't know what the nature power is, which I really wish I did know what it is. You know what? I'm going to go for a kill. Let me try and kill Manectric here. And hopefully the Rock Slide... Hopefully the combination does the business. It's neutral Rock Slide. Okay, Manectric's dead. And I think now with the 3 of us, we should be able to get the kill. Even with the Chople Berry. That crit Loki might end up battering as well. Okay, never mind. For whatever reason, it's still Frost Breathing. I don't know. Did I take away its Heat Wave as well? As me removing Flash Fire, like, emancipated it or something? Emancipated? Emasculated it. It's really having a sad time right now. Anyway, I guess we'll Ice Beam again. And... Rock Slide Night Wait. Honestly, pretty good battle, considering this didn't go quite as well as I thought. I was hoping to get more value for my Volcarona. I don't even have to bring Pheromosa. And I get 2 Z crystals. What value? Alright, apologies to everyone, you know, that's probably screaming at me and turned off the YouTube video at this point because I had the Excel spreadsheet on the screen. I'll just quickly show you through all the stuff, but I did say it. Life Orb. They're the stats. They're the moves, the stats, and the ability, the item, you know. And as I said, for this Cleavor, the moves didn't matter. I actually, in my notes, had Assault Vest on it. It was meant to be careful with 126 HP, 132 special defense, 252 attack, but I was too lazy. So it doesn't have that. Sheer Force is necessary, though. Alright, so that's all the Pokemon. Here are the EVs. So yeah, this Ribombay was, like, very bulky. And that speed tier should hopefully give you, assuming, you know... the mathematics is right, Ribombay is 1 faster than Volcarona. Alright. The final one is actually the sticky one for me. This is the one I think I might actually not be able to do right now. I also think it's not the hardest one, but I think it might be the second hardest one. But we'll see about this. And you might notice the usual suspect here. I have Volcarona again. Okay, let me just change my sidebar thing before I do anything else. So, we have got Volcarona. We have a Fortress. Probably want to be a bit bigger than that. We have not brought a Ribombay today to class. Instead, we've brought Orbeetle. The Kulu was saying before, you've not brought a Caterpie. I have brought a Dottler, which is the unevolved form of Orbeetle. I partially did this for swag, I will own up to it. But there is, like, other reasons for this. Center Scorch is here. And then finally, and again, don't adjust your sets, Wormadam Sandy is here. Okay. Right. let me put the Excel spreadsheet on, and I'll also remove it this time before the battle begins. How does that sound? Good? Alright, here is the Excel spreadsheet. This is the refight versus Big Mo. The gimmick for Big Mo is, firstly, you're not allowed to use fairy-type moves, which hopefully I don't have any of them. Otherwise, it'll be kind of embarrassing. Also, the gym is under a condition that doesn't exist in Pokemon, namely Trick Room for weight. By this, it means the heaviest Pokemon move fast, and the lighter Pokemon go slowest. You may notice this gym has 2 of the primal Pokemon, Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. It has Celesteela, the Ultra Beast, Guzzlord, the Ultra Beast. It has a Mega Pokemon in the form of Mega Metagross, and it had Mudsdale. You know, the sheep, or I guess horse, of the whole family. Basically, all the restricted, like, you know, super mega legendary mythical Pokemon are all really heavy. And basically, Guzzlord, Celesteela, I think Celesteela is the heaviest Pokemon in the game. But Guzzlord, Celesteela, Primal Groudon, and Primal Kyogre are all like the 4 heaviest Pokemon in the game. That is to say, I can't outspeed these 4 Pokemon. Mega Metagross and Mudsdale, I think, are slightly lighter than that. But there is absolutely no bug that is heavier than any of the Pokemon here. So I can't have speed control in this battle. Kind of. I'll get back to that in a moment, but at least with their gym gimmick, I can't ever outspeed these Pokemon, which is really, really, really annoying, because, like, you know, speed control in Pokemon is a pretty important thing. And more to the point, not only do they have, like, speed advantage with their gimmick, they've also got probably the most anti-bug, or at least one of the most anti-bug Pokemon in the game, in the form of Primal Groudon. Primal Groudon turns off all water moves with its Desolate Land ability, which means it's 1/4 times weakness. You can't use it into Primal Groudon unless you overwrite the weather condition with another one of the primal weathers. I can't do that, because none of the bugs are primal Pokemon, sadly. I don't know what, you know, the Pokemon Company were thinking, but clearly they weren't thinking about this playthrough, so Primal Groudon is like a massive issue for me. Also, you know, now this is single battle as well, so it's pretty awkward to get through single battles versus double battles. There is some more shenaniganery, if that's a word, that you can perform in double battles and single battles, so it makes it even harder to deal with. Then, not only is that a problem, but Celesteela, the heaviest Pokemon in the game, is Steel Flying type, and Steel Flying type is really bad with bugs, because the Flying type damage does lots of damage to the bugs, and the Steel type means the bugs can't hit it very well, so this is why I've got 2 Fire type Pokemon. I can't really deal with Celesteela any other way, other than this way. Normally, if you're a Steel type, you can send in a Ground type move. Flying type coverage makes you immune to that. Or you send in a Fighting type move, and Celesteela, unfortunately, is neutral to that because of the Flying typing. So it's a really, really strong typing, Steel Flying, and Celesteela uses it pretty obnoxiously. Other Pokemon here, Primal Kyogre's here, which is not much fun. Water Spout is disgusting damage in the old constant rain weather condition, so that's really nasty. Mudsdale is stamina. If you hit it with any physical move, you're going to take Rocky Helmet damage. Basically, you're going to take more damage than you do to it, because it's going to get an insanely high defense stat from stamina. Every time you hit this Pokemon with, I think it's a physical move, it gains a defensive stat, so pretty annoying. And Rocky Helmet, anytime you make contact with it, you take damage. As Earthquake, Body Press, Smackdown, Roar. Again, if you don't set up in front of the thing, it'll roll you away. Very horrible. Celesteela tries to Leech Seed you and then substitute, and it also has leftovers, which, with this Pokemon being very defensive as well, basically means you can't kill it. It's like, it just walls you. It's really, really obnoxious. The only thing I can really get through is a big, strong Fire-type move. Also, it's Flamethrower, which is, like, not great for my bugs. It's, like, really, really designed to, like, fuck my bugs up. Guzzlord is probably the least scary thing here, but as Assault Vest, it's pretty tanky, but is a Dark Dragon Pokemon, so actually Bug-type moves can hit it for super effective damage. I just talked about Primal Groudon. If I don't kill this thing fast enough either, with, you know, like, its anti-bug moveset, it has Sword Stance, so it can dance the night away and just destroy me. Primal Kyogre, as I said, Water Spout is disgusting at full health. It's just going to one-shot any Pokemon. And finally, Mega Metagross is another Steel-type Pokemon, which is pretty obnoxious to deal with bugs, and has a pretty strong moveset, and also does pretty big damage with the Tough Claws ability. Watch me now push the Excel spreadsheet button. Goodbye. Okay, so what is my answer to this? Well, really, there's, like, no great answer, which is why I said I don't know if I can do this right now. The first part of, like, the quote-unquote answer is that I'm going to lead with Forretress. And Forretress is going to set up a few terrains. Specifically, it's going to set up Toxic Spikes, which with the ability Sturdy should it should basically be able to get up the Toxic Spikes. Bloodstale can't one-shot it, so it's going to have to swap to a Pokemon that can kill Fortress. So I'll get the Toxic Spikes on the first turn, and on the second turn I can set up Toxic Spikes, and the Sturdy will keep me alive to make sure Toxic Spikes goes up. And the reason for this is that I can stall out Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre and hopefully kill them with Toxic, basically. But it's still not a great answer because Celesteela is immune to it, and Mega Metagross is also immune to it. They are both Steel types, so it's really obnoxious. If I can get away with it, I can try and set up Stealth Rocks as well. Really, I want to set this all the terrains, but I'm actually just betting on purely Toxic Spikes, because swapping around in this battle is going to be a little bit awkward. But if I can get Stealth Rocks off, fantastic. If I can get Spikes off, fantastic. But it's probably not going to happen. This thing has been made really bulky as well. It's got Impish as its nature. It's got Leftovers as an item as well. Probably not going to get much value from the Leftovers, but you never know. We've got Protect as well for stalling. A lot of my Pokemon have got Protect on them just to stall out the Toxic turns, because that's my route to victory. My other important Pokemon in here, really, is actually Centiskorch. And if you remember back to my original Big Mo battle, I actually used Centiskorch quite well in that battle to beat them. And the reason for this is, if anything swaps into Fortress, it's almost certainly swapping in to send in a Fire-type move into Fortress, because Fortress is 4 times weak to fire, it's its only weakness. With that knowledge, I can swap into Centiskorch, and Centiskorch has got the ability Flash Fire, which means I'm immune to Fire-type damage. So Centiskorch can get swapped into on a Fire-type move, suck up the Fire-type move, and take no damage. That's kind of what Centiskorch is here. And then I can basically rotate around the battle, realistically just protecting my other bugs from Fire-type moves using Centiskorch. The other important thing about this Pokemon actually is it's got Life Orb, so it does disgusting damage. It's adamant as well, because there's no point putting speed investment into these Pokemon because they can't ever fasten their Pokemon, so literally it's just all-out attack and all-out defense on my Pokemon. This thing has Flare Blitz, and the important thing about Life Orb Flare Blitz is it'll one-shot Celesteela. So the really good thing for me is if Celesteela comes in front of Centiskorch, Centiskorch can beat it. That's a really powerful factor. The other movesets on this Pokemon, Leech Fang will one-shot Guzzlord and give me a big heal backup. Power Whip, I don't think it one-shots Primal Kyogre, but does some decent damage into Primal Kyogre if I get into that situation. Also does some decent damage into Mudsdale, which otherwise this Pokemon would be lacking. And has Protect to basically stall out the Toxic turn. So Centiskorch is going to be like a real key player, and keeping this thing alive to kill Celesteela, or potentially kill Celesteela, or Mega Metagross for that matter, is going to be huge. Now, I said that I can't win the Speed War, which is somewhat true. There is one way that I can actually, cheat, so to speak. So they may have Trick Room for weight, but what about Trick Room for Trick Room? And I looked into this, and I checked it myself just to make sure this works. If you put Trick Room on in Trick Room for weight, the Trick Room will work, basically. The lighter Pokemon will go faster in Trick Room, which means that all my Pokemon will get a speed advantage over their Pokemon, regardless of any speed investment or lack of speed, purely in Trick Room. So 2 of my Pokemon here are purely here for Trick Room reasons. One of them is Dottler. My Dottler, as you might be suspecting, is holding Eviolite. It actually makes it slightly bulkier than Orbeetle. So this thing can live through Water Spout from Primal Kyogre. I think if it takes 1 tick of Toxic Poison, it lives through it, which is pretty good actually. So that's why Ionosphere is here. It's just to try and sit in front of Primal Kyogre and set up Trick Room. The other moves on this Pokemon kind of don't matter, but it's got Protect to potentially stall out the Toxic turns, which is, obviously useful. Struggle Bug can lower the special attacking stat, I think it is, right? Yeah, special attack stat, which again into Primal Kyogre is pretty good. It also has Bug Buzz. I'm probably never living long enough to push that button though, but it has got an attacking move. So this Pokemon is really here to set up Trick Room. Atmosphere is also here for the same reason. It's here to set up Trick Room. I don't really know why I've given it Bright Powder. I actually might change this because one of the awkward things about Trick Room is in double battles it's fine because your Pokemon can use the Trick Room immediately, right, on the next turn. I say immediately, it has negative priority, so you're using it on the next turn. In single battles, you have to swap out and ideally save swap into something else that can then use the Trick Room, which is the real it's the real challenge of this battle is getting into your Centiskorch or something in Trick Room, so it always has speed advantage. You can destroy most of the Pokemon here. Getting that advantage while using the majority of Trick Room turns, it's just a really difficult dance to make. I put Bright Powder on this honestly just to help me set up Trick Room, but this thing is pretty bulky. It should live through most attacks. The ability doesn't matter. I've left Frisk on it. This one's got Recover on it as well, and Bug Buzz, but it probably won't matter. I probably should just put Struggle Bug on it, if I'm going to be honest with you. And maybe we'll change that. Then the other Pokemon I want to quickly talk about is Volcarona. Volcarona is basically the backup for Celesteela, for Centiskorch. This Pokemon in particular is very good into Celesteela. It can't one-shot it, but Celesteela can't hurt it, is more to the point. It's very specially bulky. I've given it an Assault Vest as well, so like it's really, really bulky as Pokemon Go. But obviously, because I didn't need to worry about the speed stat, I can max out its special attack and its special defense. So I think it's literally maxed in both those stats. And Celesteela said it just can't really hurt this Pokemon, so it's actually pretty obnoxious, honestly, for the Celesteela. So that's basically the reason why this is here. It has Overheat, which I think doesn't quite one-shot Celesteela. It might come close. But yeah, that's here to do some big major damage. I can actually set up a little bit with Fiery Dance if I get very lucky, which is like the only way I can raise my special attack whilst using an Assault Vest. It has Bug Buzz for Guzzlord and Giga Drain for Mudsdale, which also gets around Stamina, which is the other reason why I've used Volcarona, and not just another Centiskorch. I actually wanted a special attack to help deal with the Mudsdale. There's many problems in this battle, but, you know, I think this gives me some tools to deal with them. Now, the elephant in the room here, or the bagworm in the room, I guess, is Wormadam. Why is Wormadam here? Wormadam is here to kill Primal Groudon. And, I don't think many of you might have expected this, but that is what he's here for. He has got like some other minor uses, but he probably won't ever come to fruition. In theory, like Primal Kyogre 7 of a Thunder, if I think it's going to come through, I could swap to Wormadam, but I don't think I'll ever push the Thunder button, honestly. But that's part of the reason why I was considering it. But the other reason why this Pokemon is here, and he's holding a Focus Sash, by the way, is there's only one Bug-type Pokemon that learns the move Endeavor. And more specifically, it's not the only one that learns Endeavor, but it learns Endeavor and a Priority move on the same Pokemon. So this Pokemon is here to potentially go into Primal Groudon, get hit by one move, Endeavor, and then Sucker Punch it to death. Realistically, what I really wanted to happen was that a Toxic trigger would kill it the turn after Endeavor, so I could Sucker Punch something else even. What's actually going to happen, like, more often than not, because I've done some testing on this, and this is typically the way this revolves around it, is at some point this will swap into Primal Groudon and take a Rock Tomb instead, which will break the Sash. And in that case, I will Protect, so to get the poison ticking, I'll Sucker Punch it, and it'll die to poison triggers, and kill me at the same time. The final move here is Fisher, just in case, you know, a Hail Mary play, just to go for a one-shot, but again, I probably won't ever push that button, but I was only ever going to push the other 3 button. And it's probably unlikely I get the Endeavor off, because it requires, like, a very specific, like, setup to get to that stage, and I don't think I'll like, achieve it. Anyway, here are the EVs, the IVs, all that jazz. Probably should have maxed your special attack out now that I look at it. You know what, I might do that quickly. It probably won't matter, but you do have special attacking moves. Alright. Cool. Okay, so that's maxed out as well. It probably doesn't matter. Whatever. Just in case the off chance I, like, don't kill something by 1 health. I'd feel stupid. So as I said, I think this is the only battle where I'm not 100% confident I can beat it. I'll give my darndest try, but it's going to be a lot of prediction, and by prediction I mean, like, I'm going to have to see what the AI does, and I'd, like, basically react to what the AI is doing, and hopefully, like, find a way to win from there. It's like, I'll have to predict the AI swapping, aka the AI swaps to this Pokemon every single time, and I swap at the same time, predicting it, not the fact that I should be reloading a save. Alright, Mo, come on. Yeah, I guess I am. But the real tricky thing about this battle is getting into Trick Room and then getting out of the Pokemon that set up Trick Room to get to the Pokemon that wants to take advantage of Trick Room. I also forgot, I think on that screen on the presets, you might be wondering why there was a Heracross there. Originally, my testing of this, I had a Heracross in the team instead, because Heracross can actually do a lot of damage to all these Pokemon. But the problem is, if it ever took 1 Air Slash from Celesteela, it would just fall over. And it was really hard to pin down, like, the other Pokemon with Mega Heracross, because Mo loves to swap his Pokemon. So I cut it. I only did the testing this morning, so I last minute threw Volcarona into the team, who didn't used to be here. But I think Volcarona is actually better. Also, in case you're really interested, I think the heaviest bug Pokemon is Buzzwole. But, like, it's orders of magnitude, like, lighter than the Pokemon here. And there's no move that increases your weight. There is a move that lowers your weight, but not increases it. So yeah, so Celesteela has come in. So this is... If we can get through Celesteela, like, vaguely, like, efficiently, we probably win this battle. It's the real, like, bottleneck is this thing doing Leech Seed substitute leftovers spam. Anyway, the reason Celesteela is here is to throw a flamethrower at this guy, because it's 4 times weak to flamethrower. So I can now predict a flamethrower is coming in, so we can go to Center Scorch. The other issue with the mode team now, by the way, in case you're, like, really wondering about it, if I try and throw a fire move into Celesteela, it will swap to Primal Kyogre, and Primal Kyogre's Primordial Sea will then turn off the fire-type moves, so I can't actually do that. The other line it can go down is it can go to Primal Groudon instead, which is also pretty annoying. So I don't know what it's going to do. I'm going to just Leech Fang as like a side pathway. It could also stay in and just Air Slash me, which would be really bad. I could also Protect, but I think it will swap. There'll come a point in the game where he'll stop swapping because I've basically pinned him down. It's just getting that turn right is the important thing. So they do into Groudon, which is fine. I give him the Suck. Does like nothing. Now, here's where the game comes afoot. I Protect here to stall out a turn. That's more toxic damage. And this is like what I need to do now. I need to be very efficient with like my protecting so they take maximum toxic damage. Now we just have to swap, and this is what Wormadam is here for. He will take a Rock-type move relatively well, better than Center Scorch at least. Speed doesn't matter. Wormadam also has Protect. So I Protect again. And now, unless this Sucker Punch crits, we'll both trade. But it's fine, because Primal Groudon is so hard for me to deal with that I'll just accept the trade. Okay, we don't crit. It'll die to Toxic now. I could theoretically, I guess, go for a double Protect there, which might actually be more efficient. I can't remember if he dies to the Toxic regardless of that damage, but... Wormadam really is here just to deal with this guy anyway, so I'm kind of okay with the trade. Here's the other issue with this battle, it's who do I go into now? Because they get to pick based on what I do, or at least the AI. It might not say this, but the AI does do this. So I might try and go into my Trick Room setter. Try my Trick Room setter. The safer option, honestly, I should have done this. I should have gone into Forretress. I don't think you can kill me, though. So this might actually be fine. No, it's still not great, actually. Until I kill Primal Kyogre, this battle's actually a bit awkward. Because I can't send a big Fire-type move into Metagross, because it'll just swap to Kyogre. I still think we Trick Room, though. I guess we'll Bug Buzz here and try and get the special defense drop. Okay, this guy's fairly unfair. Now, this is where things get a bit weird. I think my next best option... I threw this, actually. I should have gone into you earlier. I think I go into Volcarona, but I don't send out a Fire-type move, because I just can't until Primal Kyogre dies. As soon as Primal Kyogre is dead, I can do, like, whatever the fuck I want. It's not quite true, but... Yeah, okay. I think this will be Kyogre. Yeah, okay. Which actually is fine, because well, I think it's fine. It's not fine. The water spout is going to do way less damage, though, because I'm going to hit it with a pretty strong move. Also, it does have Origin Pulse, the other strong move. That can miss. They're only 85 accurate. I don't know if Volcarona takes a hit from this thing. And I don't have Protect on it because I have Assault Vest. I actually just want to quickly check this. I might not actually have the Volcarona written down. Volcarona. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Okay, so it's no speed. It's all special defense, I think. Actually, I can't remember. I actually just looked at the sets and I can't remember if it was health or special. I think it's special. And Kyogre. Primal. Okay. Wait, Assault Vest. And it's modest. Not that it matters. Okay, it still dies to one Origin Pulse, so I can't get around that. How much does a Giga Drain do? The other issue of this Pokemon is, like, it's really bulky as well, especially on the special side of things. Yeah, Giga Drain's only 30%. And I'm kind of wasting my Trick Room turn dancing around this. I need to basically sack Fortress. Ideally, I'd like Fortress to live this turn. You might live this. But ironically, I think the crit mattered. I think I would have lived that otherwise. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is only 85 accurate as well, but I think I have to go for it now. I couldn't protect there because of the Trick Room. I think it's about to come up, right? Yeah. So I'm slower again. But now we play the game again. Also, Kyogre's gone now. So if I can get Trick Room up again, my Fire-type bugs can do some damage. You might Roar me as well here. I doubt it, but he does have Roar. Okay, I hope you take this relatively well. Atmosphere. Oh, you might not take this well, actually. Okay, that's fine. If that's your best move, we're actually good. Get Trick Room up again. Huge. Well, hang on a second. Ah! Okay. This is, again, this is the awkward bit, because I can't get my Trick Room set easily. What are you going to do? You're probably going to... Oh, you might Pursuit is the thing. I can't swap. You might Pursuit it. Okay, I'll Bug Buzz. The best case scenario here is that Metang doesn't kill Orbeetle, and I get off another Trick Room. That's also pretty good, though. Your attack rose, but I don't think that matters. I think now I'm pretty free just to go into Center Scorch and push the old Flame Wheel button. They can only go into... Oh, they could actually go into Mudsdale, which was pretty annoying. Okay, they didn't swap. Huge. The dream now is Guzzlord comes out. I doubt it'll happen, but it would be phenomenal. I'm actually so okay with this. This is the second best prize, because Flare Blitz will one-shot. I'll sack Center Scorch with the recoil damage to deal with Celesteela. Because I think Volcarona should be able to kill Guzzlord as well. But Guzzlord would be a great summon now. I think this is the last time of Trick Room now, right? This is the last time of Trick Room. Leech Rang one-shots. We should have won. I think we've won. Barring some bizarre crit, I think it's over. Because I don't think you can one-shot me, right? And now we can protect Spav. He got me. Bait out the protect. Didn't expect that. But the thing is... Oh, wait. Mudsail's going to do Smackdown. Okay. Actually, I can lose this still. I take it back. I might lose to Smackdown Mudsdale, unironically. I'm 4 times weak to this. Oh, don't lose to this. Don't lose to this guy, please. I don't have Protective Volcarona. It has to be Giga Drain, right? Let me just quickly check. Mudsdale, Big Mo. Giga Drain is doing half the health. Smackdown shouldn't kill. I'm bulky enough. But I might lose to Guzzlord. I might actually lose this, you know. I'm going to be so cross if I lose. Well, I'm going to be moderately cross if I lose. I'm pretty certain that Giga Drain... Well, Giga Drain plus Poison will kill it. Overheat is actually more damage, but then I'll tank my stats. And I won't get a heal. Yeah, I have to do this. It's all whether or not Guzzlord can kill me. Because you'll die to Toxic now. Oh, stamina's any attack? I thought it was only physical. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about your defense boost anyway. The last thing is, though, Guzzlord is a special attacker, and I've got Assault Vest, and I'm Volcarona. So I think we're still okay, but I'd feel so much happier if I had Protect. Although, Protect wouldn't kill from here. I have to send out some damage. And you don't have a priority move, so I can't even change things for a priority move. Please live one of these Volcarona. I was going to say... Let me remove the concern, maybe. I think we're good. I think it can't kill me. It would require a crit, I think. Because I am a bulky bug. Ah, let's go! Okay, that's actually... I know we did it first. Wait, did we do it first time? No, wait, did we do it first time? I can't remember. Was it second time? I know it looks... Oh my god, the only battle that took me 2 attempts, ignoring the one where I had to restart it because I had the Excel spreadsheet on, was the fucking battle where I literally had an 85% plus chance of winning it because I had a Greninja which ignored 5 of their Pokemon. That was the hardest one in the end. But yeah, this battle is so hard with single Pokemon. I think it doubles it like a lot easier, but... I'm so pleased with that result. Anyway, that's 5 of the battle guys down, because I did one the other day. Get Fight Team Z, which I'll probably never ever use, but we've got it. Cool. Alright. Well, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve today. There is a few other things I want to just, like, sort out for, like, you know, housekeeping. I've done this quest. I don't even remember what this quest was, but I've done it. 200 BP is actually huge. Then there was one thing I did off camera, which I apologize for. Normally I try to make sure I do everything on camera, but it was such a stupid thing, and I needed the item for the battle I just did. I did it off camera. There's a TM here. Like, it's literally just in open sight. It's Dazzling Gleam. I forgot to pick it up when I was in this village. And I was like, wait, where's my Dazzling Gleam TM? I'm sure I picked it up. And I flew back here and I hadn't picked it up, so I just picked it up and then, you know, used it. But in case you're wondering how I got Dazzling Gleam TM when I didn't get it on my playthrough, if you're like the most eagle-eyed Pokemon Unbound enjoyer in the world, I picked it up off camera and it was literally just here. So it's not here anymore. I apologize. One final thing I want to say, because this is basically the end of the episode for today. I might cheat before the next part. Just for warning you this. I've honestly done almost everything like in accordance with the game, barring my starter, which I gave myself a new starter. And what was the other thing I did? Oh yeah, that was basically it. I gave myself a starter, and I also picked the moves on my starter. That's the only thing I've done that you could like claim was cheating. But otherwise, you know, I don't start with a bug, so it would be an entire bug playthrough, right? So I think that was like very in keeping. There is one item in the game though that I might want for some of the next battles, because I think actually there's one battle in particular I think is the hardest of the battleground battles that I'll do next time. And I might want to get Water Drive for Genesect. You may have noticed my Genesect, I've never put a drive item on it, and it's because the drive items in this game are such a ball ache to get that I've simply not been bothered. So if you would forgive me, you can put it in the comments below if you'd like accept this, but I might cheat one in case you're wondering what I have to do. Hang on a second, let me just quickly save the game and create a save state, because I don't want to actually do it right now. You have to do a random battle single tournament, and you have to beat 100 opponents. And on the 100th opponent, they will use a Genesect who will hold one of 3 drives. And if you beat them, you'll get the drive. This is tedious for multiple reasons. Firstly, the single random battles mean I don't get to use the Pokemon I want to use. Secondly, there are some random movesets out there that just troll you and you just don't expect it. Like, I was doing some like mess about ones off camera, just out of interest if we could get to 100 very quickly. And I was using Garchomp. And I got one-shot by Choice Scarf Wartortle or something with Ice Punch. And I was like, okay, that's very cool. Thanks for that. And I just, you know, lose from there. Because, again, just like single eliminations with effectively closed team sheet, it's really, really obnoxious to do so. And then I do all that as well. And it's, you know, it's going to take some time to beat 100 trainers, especially if it's like trying to lock in and not just, you know, send it and hope for the best. You might not get the drive you want. There's no guarantee. I also don't think it's a guarantee you get Genesect in that battle either. I think there are other battles where you can get other items. So I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing it. I've been actually actively trying to put off trying to get any of the drives with my Genesect, which is why I've never used Technoblast, I think, on my Genesect, other than maybe Technoblast normal. But I might need water for a battle. So if you would forgive me, because in theory I can do it, right? It just requires a lot of time and effort. And it's time and effort that I'm just not willing to put in anymore. In my opinion, you should be able to get them easier. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if it's like, you know, 1,000 battle points. That I might grind out, but 100 battles in this mode, it would just suck the life out of me. So I might cheat it. I also might not. I might just not use Genesect is the actual answer. But anyway, this is like what it's all about. So you pick 3 random Pokemon we can use. So Katana, Mamoswine, Xatu, Minimut, and Zapdos Galarian form. It's actually quite a good roll compared to some of the other ones, but Katana in this case, it's got the defensive mode, very useful. Yeah, great Katana set. I really want Toxic Knockoff, Defog, and Tailwind on my Katana. Thanks for that. But yeah, it's really just get a good legendary and try and sweep the game with it. Defiant's pretty nice. Pretty fast boy, bulk up. Okay, so we'll bring you, What have you got? Assault Vest, Thick Fat, pretty good. Alright, so we go with these 3 Pokemon. They'll then have their own random Pokemon, and as you progress through the game, their Pokemon get harder and harder and harder. But occasionally you'll get caught out by like some bizarre movesets. Like, even that Bellsprout felt like it did way too much damage, but whatever. Oh, you get caught out by Whelm, which is apparently faster than me. How's... I don't think it was max speed Zapdos, but how have I just got outsped by Whelmer? It doesn't even have any legs. You holding Choice Scarf by any chance? Yep. So you'll get stuff like that where it's like, oh, how does a Whelmer kill me? And it's fucking Choice Scarf Whelmer. So yeah, so rather than me do all this, which would be like an ultimate tedium, allow me to cheat the item. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and by the way, you don't get to use these Pokemon for all 100, and also, like, the gimmick's actually, like, on paper cool, because once you beat someone, you get offered their Pokemon as well to take them, so they can swap them for the Pokemon I already had. So if you get a really bad start, you can actually bring some better Pokemon in. But every 10, I think it is, they lose your Pokemon that you had, and you'll get the 3 Pokemon that they had when you beat them, plus 3 other random Pokemon. So you can lose, like, your Legendaries on the 10th, like, the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, and just get some absolute detritus. So I had a run where I got to, like, I don't know, 15 or 16, but I'd been offered detritus by 10, so I was like, oh my god, I just, like, lost, I don't know even what it was. It was, like, Suicune or something, and you gave me, like, a Bellsprout. It's like, that's not a good deal. So anyway, So yeah, I might cheat that in. I don't know. I've not decided. Anyway, that's going to do for this episode, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this. I also hope you allow me forgiveness. And I'll see you again next time for the 3 final Battlegrounds battle. Then maybe one little, like, a nice way to, like, bookmark the series. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!